following is a presentation of Flow Sports.
Good afternoon, FloRacing. Happy race day.
Just how lucky we are to be able to tune into Flow and watch pretty much any race we want.
This is what you say for. We are free.
It is Monday night, and it is time for the 31st running of the McKay Group Front Row Challenge presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transportation. My name is Tony Bachhoven alongside of Brian Holbert. And Brian, it is a beautiful day here at the Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa.
It really is. Started off a little overcast. There was a small thread of rain there for a little bit. That moved out. And then, of course, mid-afternoon, boy, she got muggy. But it is starting to cool down. There's a nice little breeze coming through, and we are ready to go here again. The 31st running of the Front Row Challenge. How many is this for you now, Tony?
Boy, it's got to be 20, something, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Shoes got to come off to find that number.
Yeah, right. It's in the high 20s, I would tell you. Mid to high 20s.
This
event, go back and look.
And this event always brings such a wild mixture of drivers. I mean, because it's an open event. It's not sanctioned. There's no actual sanctioning body attached to this. Of course, the rules follow the general 410 practice, mainly Knoxville Raceway. And you'll see that even in the format we use here. It's very Knoxville-esque, not of the current, but more of the former. So we'll get into that as we go on and get a little more into the racing program.
Really strong field here as we take a look at the Southern Iowa Speedway. What a full crowd we have here tonight, too. The weather is perfect, and this is a great racetrack. It's an old fairgrounds here in Oskaloosa, Iowa. It opened in 1938. She's a half mile, Brian, so she gets a lot of speed on her. And Carrie Madsen has set the track record here back in 2015 of 14.849.
So definitely scooting around this place. And I want to say in 2015, I remember it being a lot cooler on that particular night. So definitely a lot of heat, a lot of humidity, and a lot going on here. Fans continue to make their way into the grandstands, looking on and right along with the drone here as the push trucks work on getting the surface rolled in. But this track's still a weekly facility, but not on the weekends. It's a Wednesday night facility. That's
right. They run the IMCA-type cars here on Wednesday nights and get a pretty good crowd here still. And, you know, there's so much that has happened at this racetrack since they ran horses on it. They run a big modified crowd here and 64-foot wide turns here at the Southern Iowa Speedway, just like we have at Knoxville. And she's a racy joint, and I think that's a lot because of the fact that they race here on a regular basis on Wednesdays.
So as Tony said, 37 at 410 sprint cars on hand here today. Of course, we'll start things off with hot laps. That's set to get underway here in about 12 minutes or so. Qualifying 2 laps, 2 cars at a time, going to come out onto the racing surface. Of course, that'll set up our heat race lineups, 8 laps in those, 6 laps in the Race Saver division. And of course, it is points from qualifying and heat races. Remember the Knoxville format, even last year, I believe they were still in that format. It's accumulated points out of your qualifying and your heat races. Top 20 going to move on into the feature event. Top 8 go into the foot race. And from there, the remainder going down into the B main. Of course, that is all in line by those point totals.
And that foot race is so popular here at the Front Row Challenge. The fans have really come to expect and enjoy that. Of course, then we have our B mains tonight. 12 laps will be the distance there. The Race Savers will come back out for a 15-lap feature, and then we will crown a champion here at the 31st Front Row Challenge with a 30-lap feature.
14 Race Saver sprint cars on hand, and that is opening night format for IMCA. So if you're familiar with that, normally they run off of the points inversion. That's not the case. It's an opening night format for them. So for a lot of fans, especially here in Iowa, that are used to that IMCA format.
Well, it's going to be great to have them on the card with us tonight. Let's meet the next member of our crew, Austin Lloyd, who will be reporting from all over the infield of this racetrack tonight.
Yeah, guys, great to be here. What an unbelievable event this is. This is my first rodeo with the event, so you guys are taking off shoes and socks and whatever else to be able to count how many times you've been here. This is round one for me, and I couldn't be more excited about it. 37 410 sprint cars checked in the back gate, and when you talk about the talent of the field, it's almost a who's who of the sport, regardless of what series you're used to watching every weekend. You've got the likes of Kyle Larson, Corey Day. You've got the likes of Carson Macedo. Last year's Knoxville champion Ryan Timms back here again. Spencer Baston here as well. I mean, they're just the names, the list goes on and on and on of the talent in this field. Couldn't be more excited to be here. You guys mentioned the weather as well, but it has done nothing to dampen the spirits of the fans down here on the infield. There's people from every corner of the country, whether it be Pennsylvania, California, right here in Iowa, Texas. We've got folks from Canada, folks from Australia, and really everywhere in between. It should be a really great night here at the Front Row Challenge, and, you know, the great racing on top of it. I think that's just a cherry on the cake, you guys.
Well, I think you're exactly right, Austin. It's going to be great to have you with us here tonight, and your expertise at working around the pit area and stuff, Brian. I think it's going to be a lot of fun having him here.
It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a little bit of chaos down there. Of course, when you're at the Front Row Challenge, there's a whole lot of things that get thrown your way at one time. But right now here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away. We'll be back to Oski.
At McKay Group, we care. Beyond your coverage. That means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people, real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
DMI is a leading manufacturer of steering, suspension, and driveline components of the sprint car industry. The line of Bulldog quick change rears featured unmatched reliability, innovation, and strength. DMI T-Rex torsion bars are the choice of the sport's top professionals who demand consistency and performance. DMI Bulldog components are proudly made in the USA in our Lancaster, Pennsylvania manufacturing facility. Visit diversifiedracing.com to learn more about the complete line of DMI racing components and Bulldog quick change rears.
Since 1987, UltraShield has been a proud Texas-based manufacturer of racing safety products trusted by racers at every level. Whether it's custom-built seats, armor seat belts, or Insight tear-offs, UltraShield delivers the safety, quality, and performance racers demand. Drivers like Justin Grant, Kyle Larson, Sheldon Haudenschild, Ricky Thornton Jr., and more trust UltraShield when it matters most. Race with confidence. Trust UltraShield. Visit ultrashieldrace.com.
At McKay Group, we care. Beyond your coverage. That means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people, real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
Welcome back to the 31st running of the McKay Group Front Row Challenge, presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport, here live on FloRacing. Getting a great look over the top of the Southern Iowa Speedway, better known as Oski, here for the Front Row Challenge. Fans continue to make their way into the grandstands. A very full pit area. If you missed earlier, talking about 37 winged 410 sprint cars, another 14 of the Race Saver variety here. Cars starting to make their way down into the staging lanes. We'll have engine heat coming up here in just a moment. And we talked about it earlier. We touched on it. The weather so far today has been fantastic. A little overcast earlier. Starting to clear off. A few kind of broken clouds out there, currently sitting at 87 degrees. It feels like 93. The corn sweat is real this time of year.
It is very real.
Winds right now around 5 miles an hour, gusting up to about 10. So again, if you're in the stands, you get that nice little breeze in there. So it's actually been really, really comfortable this afternoon walking around the pits. It hasn't been quite gold bond weather, but it's close.
You see all the fans that are doing the infield party pass here tonight. That's a big part of this event as well.
Very much a tradition of this event, and what's crazy is we'll be down there. We can't hear the car, we can't hear the PA, but we can hear somebody's sound system. Like, they absolutely get after it down there.
We've seen concerts down there before. Always plenty of good barbecues.
Statute of limitations hasn't run out on some of the things we've witnessed. So some of the notable entries that have made their way into the pit area, of course, there are some of the names you would expect. Of course, some guy that's won this thing like 5 times.
Right.
You know, Kyle Larson, the driver to Elk Grove, California, in the number 57. Of course, Corey Day in the 14, joining the field as well. Ryan Timms, last night, things going awry in probably the best, worst time imaginable, dropping a valve, and they said, luckily, that was not their Knoxville setup.
The 2023 winner, James McFadden, in the 21T. Spencer Baston picked up a win early in the season in the NOS Energy Drink car number 17. Carson Macedo, there's a lot of buzz around that team this week with the 10th anniversary of Jason Johnson's passing and the special paint scheme they've got here.
Levi Hillier, who has really done wonderful things up in the Northwest, really starting to kind of stretch his legs and win. Of course, got the win earlier this year down at Central Arizona Raceway. Coming back here, Douglas County, Coos Bay, Skagit, Douglas County, back up in the Northwest. So definitely a young and up-and-coming driver. Steven Snyder Jr. in the 51 machine at Rising Sun, Maryland. Got that win earlier this year at Williams Grove. He's another one to keep your eye on. Of course, Casey Kane in the field at Enumclaw, Washington. Also picking up a win earlier this year out in Pennsylvania. And the law firm, Parker Price Miller. 2 wins on the season in 360 as well as 410 competition, and coming in off a top 10 finish here last year in this event.
Pretty strong field when you look at the 37 cars that are here tonight. No slouches in any of these cars.
No, definitely not. Cars starting to make their way out, get a little engine heat as they'll working in this racing surface as well. And with that, here in the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back to Oski.
That means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people, real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
In racing, second place is just the first loser. That's why the toughest drivers in the sport trust BR Motorsports Ignitioneering to keep their fire lit and their engines lethal. Kyle Larson, Carson Macedo, Tanner Thorson, champions who refuse to run anything less than the best. Our customer service is relentless. Our tech department is obsessed with getting you exactly what you need to dominate every lap. No more DNFs, just winner's checks. BR Motorsports Ignitioneering. Performance starts with a spark. Visit brpromag.com.
Since 1979, Country Builders Construction has provided wood framing services to property developers in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Quality work, a professional reputation, problem solving, craftsmanship, and performance is the foundation of our accomplishments. It's the way we do business. We are proud of the good name we have built in this competitive business. We have done so by delivering on our promises and rising to meet all challenges. Our motto says it all: superior structural integrity with trophy-winning speed.
Late nights at the track, hot days in the sun. When the race drains you, refuel with horsepower hydration. Electrolytes engineered to keep you sharp, steady, focused. Because whether you're behind the wheel or in the stands, racing takes everything you've got. Hydration, engineered for speed. Made by racing fans, for racing fans. Stay sharp, stay steady, get back into the race. Horsepower hydration.
And welcome back to the Southern Iowa Speedway, the 31st running of the McKay Group Front Row Challenge presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transportation. Fans are filing in here to the infield and into the grandstands as some of the cars have begun to make their way out for engine heat and a little bit of wheel packing here on the half mile in Oskaloosa. Brian, there's so much that goes into putting this race together, and the sponsors that Terry McCarl and Lori McCarl and their whole team put together to make this event happen. It's quite impressive. $21,000 to win tonight, $1,000 to start. And of course, McKay Group is the official title sponsor of the event, which will have the McKay Group start zone. The work area tonight is the Rengen Earthworks work area. Craig Ford, who is a big sponsor of all racing here in Southern Iowa, will be providing the pace truck here tonight. But what's really cool is each 410 heat race winner tonight will win prizes and things that will total around $3,700.
They win an aisle at Smiley's Racing Products, basically, or Speedway, or any of these performance stores. It's amazing the amount of stuff that Terry puts together and pulls in for these teams. I mean, yeah, there's the money, obviously, you know, $21,000, $1,000 to start, but when you're talking at almost $4,000 worth of product.
Right, it's impressive. You know, Smith tie front ends, Walker filters, Sander wheels, HRP certificates, Pit Pal certificates, all kinds of great stuff. The second place in the heats even get something. They'll be getting winners front hubs worth about $400. Our heat races tonight are sponsored by Oskaloosa True Value, Smith Tie heat race number 2, Tasso Steakhouse heat race number 3, and Craig Ford heat race number 4.
Tonight's Front Row Challenge is brought to you by the McKay Group, your local agency with us. It doesn't matter where you end up on the podium. Every client gets first place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com. Of course, on the 305 side of things, you have Oskaloosa True Value Hardware and Ultra Shield products sponsoring the heat races. Walker Engineering coming in with air filters, Sander racing wheels with a $500 certificate. The Dingus Lounge going to give you $100. Might want to check some IDs before we hand that one out.
Right.
Hepner Racing Products, $250 certificates. Pit Pal with $200 and a free set of armor seatbelts from Ultra Shield Racing Products. Second place with those winners hubs. That's a $400 value. $1,000 to win in Race Saver competition here. $300 off the purchase of new Ultra Shield seat. $300 Pit Pass or a Pit Pal certificate rather. Second place also gets that $200 Pit Pal certificate, and third place gets a $100 Pit Pal certificate.
And don't forget, our quick qualifier tonight will get $500 from Jet Performance. So everybody wins as we make our way through the course of the night here.
There was other bonus money, and we got a text early. I have to go back and try to find it here. SprintCarUnlimited.com also doing a random draw for the A-Main driver to get a $250 bonus, and that's just going to be at random draw. So, again, want to thank SprintCarUnlimited.com. Going back to the notable entries, I would be remiss, and I know, you know, they had the graphic, Flo went through, and they said, you know, these are the ones we think are on there. The Macho Man.
Yes, after the horrendous crash he had last night at Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, for Brady to get back here, not only that, for Bioman Motorsports to bring two cars. You know, they've got Cale Thomas and the other ones, so able to get a look at that number 31, believe right there, looking at Thomas. I think I see an X on there. So, yeah, definitely that's one I feel like we need to keep our eye on.
And don't forget, Brady's had some luck here at Oskaloosa.
Yeah.
He was the Ultimate Challenge winner here back in 2019 when they didn't run with wings. So that was back when we had the Front Row Challenge on Monday, the Ultimate Challenge on Tuesday. And so Brady is a former winner here at the Southern Iowa Speedway. And so it's good to have him back after that big crash he had last night in Knoxville in turn number 1. So that was a rough one.
So definitely want to make sure, you know, looking at those, they were great choices. But, you know, we're looking through our own entry list going, man, you know, there's a couple, and that was one that I felt like we really need to bring up.
And don't forget, our Oskaloosa True Value will be having the Nailed It move of the night that you and I will be picking later on tonight. They will win $500, courtesy of the Oskaloosa True Value.
That is a lot of shovels.
It's a lot of hammers.
Yep.
So the fans continue to file in. The cars are building some heat in their motors and doing a little wheel packing here. We are getting very close to getting our first hot lap session of the evening underway. We're going to step away real quick, and when we come back, we should have cars on the Speedway here at the Southern Iowa Speedway.
Welcome back to Southern Iowa Speedway, the 31st running of the McKay Group Front Row Challenge, presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport. To our viewers watching on FloRacing 24/7, thank you for tuning in. For even more racing action, stream FloRacing anytime on the Flo Sports app. A lot of racing coming up. Of course, not only, racing here tonight. Tomorrow, you and your partner in crime get to call some 360s.
Yeah, we'll be heading up to the Marshalltown Speedway, which will also be live on FloRacing tomorrow night. So we'll have the 360 sprint cars along with the IMCA Race Savers on the card at the Marshalltown Speedway. First time since 1989 that the sprint cars have been back at Marshalltown.
That is really cool. And then, of course, looking ahead on the FloRacing schedule, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the United States Auto Club, of course. Coles County Speedway coming up for the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. That'll be on August 14th and 15th. And then the series debut at Jacksonville Speedway. And a really cool post yesterday, they've added non-wing 410 sprint cars to the car.
Oh, wow.
So that is going to be awesome. So Jacksonville, that is definitely one you want to have on your schedule. That's on Sunday the 16th. So, hey, when you get done with the granddaddy of them all, after you've visited the dingus, your eyes are plenty bloodshot, you go get some midget racing at Jacksonville, and you get non-wing 410 sprint cars.
What a great combination.
I love it.
That's going to be fantastic.
The one I'm looking forward to after that, Illinois State Fairgrounds. The Bettenhausen. Champ cars on a dirt mile is something magical.
You know you get paid to do this? Do you know that?
I'm still trying to figure out how I managed to get into this.
What a great card, though.
Oh, man. And one thing that's really cool about calling the USAC schedule is it's 3 different series. So you're not just locked in on sprint cars. You get sprint cars for a couple weeks, then you jump to midgets, and then Silver Crown comes in. It was really cool going to Iowa Speedway on Saturday. That 7/8 mile D-shaped oval, they absolutely haul around that thing.
Faster than by 5 miles an hour faster than the Cup cars.
5 miles an hour average.
Yeah.
So they're averaging 143 miles an hour in Silver Crown.
Wow.
Chase Cabry puts it on the pole, stomps him for 45 laps, 10-second lead. Unfortunately, something goes wrong on the engine. He ends up with a DNF as C.J. Leary comes up, gets the win, not without being pressured by his teammate, Mario Klauser. And what was cool about that is on the start, Mario, who started in the front row, he'd fallen back a little bit, kind of missed the line on the entrance of turn 1 there at the start, fell back to like 8th or 9th and came back to 2nd and was all but passing CJ at one point.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
A lot of great stuff coming up. And, of course, if you have FloRacing, and I talk about this every night on the USAC broadcast, it's more than just racing. What's neat about that is if you are into baseball, they've got it. Basketball, they've got it. Bull riding, they've got it. Marching band. Incidentally, the first Flo account I ever had was because of marching band, because of my wife, who is a music teacher.
Yeah.
So it is definitely more than just racing, but that's really why we're here.
Absolutely. We talked about all the sponsors that participate in this event. Ultra Shield Race Products has been a recognizable brand in the motorsports industry for over 35 years. Owned and operated by former World of Outlaws champion Darren Pittman. Ultra Shield manufactures a variety of race car safety products, including seats, seat belts, window nets, and tear-offs, all made in-house in Flint, Texas. All seats are customized to meet the unique needs of their customers and their chassis while providing the safety requirements to compete at the highest levels. Seatbelts are offered in a wide range of colors and sizes. At Ultra Shield, we're committed to providing high-quality products to our customers made in the USA.
As you're making your way around the grandstands, don't forget 50/50 tickets on sale, benefiting the Steve King Foundation. And they have QR codes set up. It's actually the same company that we use at the Chili Bowl Nationals. It's the same company that Race Aid just used with their 50/50. It's Rafflebox who it is. So as long as you are in the state of Iowa, you don't have to be a resident of Iowa, but as long as you are inside the state of Iowa, you can actually play along. But, of course, they have those set up. It's real easy. Go down, scan the QR code. You can purchase them right here at the event. And, maybe we can get it up there, get somebody to walk away with about $5,000 or $10,000.
Wouldn't it be great if you could have all your insurance for auto, home, business, farm, and life all in one place? Help your retirement, just one agency? That's what McKay Group is for. They can help protect what is important for you and your family's future. McKay Group has offices in Knoxville, Oskaloosa, and now in Pleasantville.
Hebner Racing Products, the leader in sprint car, lightning sprint, and micro sprint wing chassis building components, and their #1 selling mule conversion also manufactures a huge roster of trailer accessories for virtually every form of motorsport. Check out their full roster online at hrpracing.com. From kart racing to the top sprint car drivers and teams worldwide, Hebner Racing Products has you covered with their American-made products. Racers demand the best. HRP builds it. Shop online at hrpracing.com.
If you're feeling hungry but not sure what you want, well, we suggest going to Tasso's Steakhouse in Oskaloosa. Tasso's has a variety that will take care of whatever you're hungry for: steak, chicken, fish, pasta, pizza, or salads. Tasso's has you covered. Tasso's Steakhouse, just west of the Oskaloosa Square in downtown Oskaloosa.
Built by racers for racers, Smith Titanium knows what it takes to compete at the highest level. From their industry-leading titanium bolts and fasteners to precise engineered front-end components and high-performance brake systems, every product is designed for strength, reliability, and performance. When every lap counts, you need parts you can trust. That's why racers across the country rely on Smith Titanium for quality components that are built to win. Tony, I see race cars.
We have race cars in the staging lanes as we get set for the first hot lap session of the evening. First car begins to roll trackside. Will be led out by the car number 45 from Marion, Arkansas. This is the Camden Signage Maxwell Racing Engines, QSI J&J Clean Feet, car number 45. This is the guy, they call him, Derek Hagar.
Next driver rolling out onto the Speedway, Christopher Traum, the Minnesota racer, the Joel Pinion Trucking at Traum Farms, number 24, makes his way out onto the Speedway. State Bank of Fairmont also on the side of the number 24T.
From East Grand Forks, sorry, Brian. From East Grand Forks in the Proceed Ekman Dental Arch, JW Repair, Phil Thompson and Associates AgServe. Car number G5, this is the Bandit, Gage Polkerbeck. Now, the interesting thing here, Brian, is Thomas Kennedy, the former sprint car racer, is now the crew chief on that car here as of the last couple of weeks.
Got to see Thomas. He actually swung by after Kings Royal, came down to Winchester. It was good to see him again. Of course, got to meet his son, and, you know, just such a great and wonderful, personable driver, and very, very knowledgeable, very smart behind the wheel. Getting a look at the Florida man driving to Northport, Florida. We're talking at Danny Sams III, the Global Link Moxie Creative Product Groups, number 24D.
And from Glenpool, Oklahoma, the Missile Motorsports Reese Construction, Eaton Industrial Coatings, Maxima Oil, Fisher, XXX. Car number 95, this is Matt Covington. Matt Covington in car number 95.
Driver recently picking up his first 410 sprint car victory up at the Houston Speedway. We're talking about the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV, number 45X. That is Reese Moran.
Well, you talk about things that just make you feel good. When he got that win at Houston's here just a couple weeks ago, that was a great night for him.
And not only
Johnny Herrera have been working so hard.
I was going to say, and for Johnny to do what he has always wanted to do once he got out of the seat, and that was build a driver up, build him up. Yep. And we've seen him do it with a couple of different drivers. Harley White comes to mind. First woman to ever win an ASCS national event. Not only that, did it at the ditch against the likes of Derek Hagar and Tim Crawley, and that was one of the drivers that he was able to help out early on after he stepped away and got out of the seat.
In the car number 15J tonight from Knoxville, that's the Load King by Custom Truck One Source, Stall Farms, Briggs Transportation entry. That's Cade Higday. Cade Higday stepping out of his 24 car and hopping in to the 15J.
Also on track, he's from right down the road in Knoxville, Iowa, driving the Rins Motorsports, Mike Kleck Paving, Randall Roofing, Van Gorp Construction, DC Underground, number 4W. That is Jamie Ball. Jamie Ball in the number 4W. And found out wings are optional by accident during the 360 Nationals. Thankfully, even though the car got scalped, he did not.
Right. And luckily, it didn't flip the car over backwards.
Man,
or anything
and
crazy
that
like
whole incident was just absolutely wild. I believe Sean McClellan was involved in that. Ended up, that was a almost non-wing-esque flip that he took down the front straightaway.
So getting set to go here for the first hot lap session of the evening as you take a look at Jamie Ball in that Pella Motors car number 4W. Probably going to be a little greasy here, Brian, right out of the gate with this first group. But like most of the time, we'll probably let them roll here a little bit, then bring them back under caution, do a little wheel packing. And that really seems to help widen out this racetrack in the early parts of the evening.
It really does. And we see that, I mean, whether it's USAC, High Limit, World of Outlaws, Knoxville Weekly, when you're in these early sessions, it's good just to let the drivers go out and kind of sling some of the grease off like that, let them go around. And the general rule is roll where you see fit.
Yeah.
And drivers will typically all kind of gravitate towards the same area. They're all seeing the same thing, and they're seeing it from a vantage point that us as the officials in the tower or on the broadcast don't get to see. So it's always good to kind of give them that option. As Danny Sams III is the first driver into the 19-second bracket, 19.361. Polkerbeck up to second quick there for a moment. Covington coming around to take that from him, 20.268 seconds. So a definite disparity right now on lap time. Sams, again, with that quickest time for the time being.
Christopher Traum, as you take a look at him there, he's had a great season at the Houston Speedway on Sunday night competition there, in the thick of the points battle up there. And so it's great to have him down here this weekend as well as they continue to run the racetrack in. Still in that 19-second bracket here, but that's not too much of a surprise here with this first flight. We'll bring them under caution here and do a little wheel packing, my guess.
Yeah, it looks like everybody just going to kind of roll around and kind of check the racing surface here. Drivers being instructed, of course, on the receiver one communication, where the officials in the tower are able to radio down to the drivers and let them know what's going on. And one of the bigger safety advances in sprint car racing and dirt track racing in general is the fact that we're not running out with chalkboards. We're not running out and sailing somebody onto the track with a set of flags. Now, granted, yes, there are times where that is still needed, but in this case now they're able to do that. And a lot of times we'll see, and if there's a problem with the radio, something like that, they're able to stop at an official. The official's able to come out, assist, whether it's swapping out the earbuds, swapping out the radio, something like that. And there's usually not a penalty. I'm not speaking in terms of this event, but we see it all over the country where they're able to go out because that is such a vital part of the safety of this sport.
You bring up a really interesting point there. You know, back when I ran my hobby stock here, and, you know, Wally Price, who's the pace truck driver, he used to come out on the racetrack, and we used to joke about, you know, we always felt like he was trying to see just how close he could get to the cars with that grease board, you know, telling people where to go and where to line up. So much safer now as we go back under the green flag here during this first hot lap session. There's a look at Derek Hagar. Derek's had a rough couple of weeks too here as he's been debuted this season. He's driven that car in the last couple of years, but they've had a couple hard crashes at Knoxville already. They've had to rebuild one car. They got caught up in an incident on the front straightaway here last weekend, and it's good to see them back underway here. Of course, Derek will drive for Mr. Challenge when he goes down to Australia, and we got a car upside down. Looks like Gage Polkrebeck, the car getting upside down here in hot laps.
So Gage is another driver who's had a real up and down season, and right now things not on the up and up for him, and we'll see if possibly we have a replay here. We're getting thumbs up from down trackside, so the good news, Gage, despite being upside down, is okay.
The other thing I noticed just, you know, preliminarily is the wheels are not knocked off of the car and anything like that. So I'm not sure what happened there or if how aggressive the flip was, but hopefully they're able to get that car back together here later on tonight. As Gage is climbing out of the car, you see the safety worker there helping him get up out of the G5.
Should have a replay coming here on the FloRacing broadcast. Try to, you know, see what happened and ascertain the cause of the flip here. Looking down from the drone, goes in, car snaps around on him.
Boy, he gets into the fence pretty hard, backs it up the racetrack there. That was a pretty hard hit.
That's one of those really precarious moments where you're backing in like that, and you can see just how much it caves that tail tank in. And, of course, we're in hot laps, so it's not a huge fuel load in these cars, luckily. Now, the start of a 30-lap feature event, and you're, you know, sporting 23, 24 gallons back there, and that hit becomes exponentially scarier.
So you see Gage out of the car there in that green and black driving suit there, the young man from North Dakota. Good to see him out of the race car. They'll get him towed back to the infield, and like I say, hopefully we'll see him later on tonight if the damage isn't too severe. But to your point, Brian, a lot of heavy damage to the tail tank of that race car. We'll get one more look at it here. Is, you know, early on like this, it's pretty greasy up there, and Gage is up on the top of the racetrack there, and it just comes around on him, and he's along for the ride at that point. There's nothing he can do once that car gets turned around.
And kind of watching that there where Matt Covington was coming to the bottom, he was already starting to kind of make that arc up the racetrack. He sees the G5 careen off the wall. He has to make a quick move down to the bottom because you don't know how far down the track he's ultimately going to go, but luckily able to get the helmet off, walking around and assessing everything on that car.
The MedStar rescue team over there getting things cleaned up, so it'll be just a minute or two here while we get Gage picked up off of the racetrack there.
Of course, other awards and incentives here, looking through the list, and it is quite the list. Top finishing Knoxville driver, $500 from Midwest Golf Carts. Top 3 Knoxville regulars get a Hoosier tire for the Knoxville Raceway. Highest finishing driver using Armor seat belts, Ultra Shield seat, and tear-offs, $500 from Ultra Shield. The Willwood Hard Luck Award, Willwood Disc Brakes, a complete car kit. That's worth $3,262. And the competitor must have the decal on the car. That's one of the big things is that, those contingencies are great, but you also need to show them love too. So they were all handed decal packets before they came out, so they got to make sure they have that on the car. Highest finishing Australian driver, $1,000 from Camden Signs. Highest finishing Minnesota driver, he going to get a good one. $500 from Gillen Enterprises and Justice Brothers. Highest finishing IRA driver, 60% off a set of wings, top and nose wing. And I believe that is from Hypner Racing Products.
So there's a look at the Proceed G5 of Gage Polkerbeck on the hook, heading back to the pit area. Thomas Kennedy and crew will go to work to see just what they have left to work with there, to see if they're able to get Gage back onto the racetrack here tonight.
So once the track is cleared and ready to go, we'll get the field refired and on cue. Danny Sams III, again, refiring here. The driver out of Northport, Florida, driving the Global Link Moxie Creative Products Group at number 24.
There's a look at Matt Covington on the racetrack there. He'll be coming into picture in just a moment. But Matt Covington, 3 wins on the season. His last win was July the 10th. Matt's a racer's racer. I like to think of him as a racer's racer. Pretty hands-on, builds his own cars, works on his own cars, knows how to work on them. He just doesn't show up with his helmet and drive on race day. He's pretty hands-on on that team, and they've been racing a long time. He's had a long career so far.
Really has, of course, a staple of the American Sprint Car Series.
Right.
And does jump off, and he does some 410 shows throughout the year, but again, has really been in contention. He's very much in contention this year with the American Sprint Car Series, so he's definitely having a good year, and it'll be interesting to see if he can finally pull that off. But, of course, you got to get by Sam if you're going to get it done. At one point, he actually had the points lead for a night this season. Of course, Sam able to take that back.
All right, getting ready to bring the cars back up to speed here for this hot lap session as the green flag waves on the Speedway once again. Danny Sams was quickest under the first set of green flag laps they had, a 19.066. Cade Higday he's now into the 19-second bracket as well, 19.736. Just a couple of cars into the 19s. Now they're coming in here as Matt Covington goes into the 18-second bracket. Jamie Ball, 17.971, the first car into the 17-second bracket. Reese Moran joins him, 17.430.
So just like we talked about earlier, once you have a chance to kind of roll around, and also unfortunate for the red flag, but that also kind of played into it to let the track kind of sit there and just kind of marinate for a second, and you see the speeds really start to pick up here as they get back underway.
Christopher Traum into the 16.7. Reese Moran, 16.7. So, boy, it's widening out quickly. The track is coming in nicely. So just after one set of hot laps, a little bit of wheel packing. My guess we'll see the wheel packing continue here with the next group of cars. There's a look at Christopher Traum. He's quickest here in this group, 16.571.
16.753 for Reese Moran. Danny Sams III, a 16.777 Yahtzee for the 24D. Derek Hagar, 16.978, and Jamie Ball fifth quick at a 17.106. So drivers getting 5 laps on the track there under green flag competition. We got drivers sitting down in the staging lanes, awaiting the push out onto the racing surface. One of those drivers is John Carter II out of El Paso, Texas. The Mesilla Valley Transportation, Red Horse Performance, Sure-Built Suspension, Smith Titanium, RVB Transport, number 8 machine awaiting the push.
Xavier Doney sitting next to him from Odessa, Missouri. That's the Design Source Flooring, Motorhaven, Schneeloss, and Chassis Pillow Building Systems, Cat Excavating, car number 74.
Carney, at one point a full-time driver with the American Sprint Car Series, did that and has raced a lot closer to home ever since then, and now kind of moving things around, moving parts and pieces on the board, and good to see him now in the Hugh Band number 8 machine here as he fires onto the back straightaway. Had a rough ending, though, during the 360 Nationals on his prelim night, the left rear exploding on that number 8 machine, really kind of putting him behind the 8 ball.
There's a look at Xavier Doney from Odessa, Missouri. He's been under the tutelage of Sammy Swindell for a good part of the season this year, Brian, so that's been a benefit to him. Boy, wouldn't that be great as you're cutting your racing teeth to have Sammy Swindell mentoring you and coaching you along the way?
Just the amount of knowledge that he has probably forgotten.
Right.
and now you're able to take part of that. Out of Alice Springs, Northern Territories, Australia, driver of the Tarleton & Sons, Executive Auto Sales, American Rock and Rent, Bandy & Associates, Nurse Family, number 21T. That is James McFadden. McFadden, the number 21T, making his way onto the back straight, but of course, winner here in 2023. We got one of the 31s.
That's the 31X, I believe, of Cale Thomas from Fairland, Indiana. The Dave.com Inland Rigging Smith Tie, Billman Motorsports, car number 31X. You can just see that X on the back corner of the 3 there. That was my tip-off.
A wee little X.
I'm sure we'll get that confused at some point throughout the night.
Oh, yeah. The 41 on track, Carson Macedo at Lemoore, California. Driver the All-Ball Your Alternative, Macedo Valley Transportation, Tarleton & Sons, Sage Family, Scott Boyd Family, Complete Parts, number 41 machine. Currently 4th in standings with World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. And, again, bringing that 10-year anniversary paint scheme back to Knoxville.
It's so good looking.
Able to actually get up and look at that car up close, it just gives you chills.
Yeah. Also on the racetrack from Oakley, California, the Kiwi Landscaping, Ride-In Supply, Rockwell Security, car number 8N. That's Dylan Bloomfield. Dylan Bloomfield on the racetrack there. Dylan, 4 wins this season, 2 at Placerville and 1 at I-55, also 1 at Spoon River.
Garrett Benson coming to speed now at a Concordia, Missouri. The 360 Civil KNC Drywall, Burke Motorsports number 27B. Win earlier this year in midget competition, the Centennial Midget Series, which coming into play as the Rocky Mountain Midget Racing Association kind of going by the wayside, and the Centennial Midgets coming on board here at speed, and driver coming to us out of Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah.
Cole Schroeder. The Rockin' R Bar Hyper Racing, Cole Schroeder Racing number 3 machine. Of course, the Frontier region, the American Sprint Car Series, based up in the Montana area. Cole not actually a part of that region at all during his start into sprint car racing. Actually first saw him in micro racing. In fact, we see him go back and take part in the Hyper Racing Tulsa Shootout powered by NOS Energy Drink. As Carson Macedo climbing up to the top of the boards here, 16.085 seconds. Xavier Doney, 16.347. Thomas at a 16.496, Bloomfield at a 16.534, and Trom at a 16.571. So the track improving immensely here.
Yeah, first 4 cars there faster than the first group. As you see, you can see where the cushion's at there, about halfway up the racetrack. So still some work to do on the racing surface, but they'll roll that in and continue to get that packed in.
And early on in the program, especially as we get ready to go into our qualifying, you don't want the cushion to be up too high because you still want to have drivers to be able to have the option to be able to go in and kind of lean on that and kind of work down and try to hit the bottom as much as possible. As our next group of drivers are going to begin to make their way onto the Speedway, the 2MD machine, the Mark Daly Racing, the Blue Emu, Moon and Dagger Tattoo, number 2MD of Darren Nida, making his way out onto the Speedway. He'll make his way around.
The young phenom from Burlington, Washington, the Skagit Speedway Race Redeem Foundation, Sundollar Restoration, Spaney Building, Stancraft Jet Centers, car number 26R. This is Levi Hillier. If you've been around a day or two in racing, you've heard of Chad Hillier. This is his son, doing a great job as he's learning his craft. Steven Snyder Jr. from Rising Sun, Maryland, the Indy Performance Composites Rod-In Supply, Maxim High Performance Lubricants, TJ Forge, car number 51. Good look at him there as he paces through the corner. Ayrton Jeniton just getting past him there in that car number 3. That's Ayrton Jeniton from Gravois Mills, Missouri, the Bernie brand High Performance Lubricants Hibden Gravel Wet Steps, car number 3A. Ayrton, a 3-time Power Ride champion. And there is the guy that has had a lot of luck here the last few nights. That's Ryan Timms from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the All-Ball Your Alternative. Hampo Oil, Joel Pinion Trucking, car number 10. He's the 2026 360 Knoxville Nationals champion. There's J.J. Hickel from Quilcene, Washington in the Ringen Earthworks, Apex Graphics, Windsor Construction. Dave Perry, STC Moyle, Sam Miller Comedy, car number 63. J.J.'s went to Victory Lane twice in a 360 of his own this year. Riley Goodnow from Knoxville, Iowa. He got upside down last night as the wing came off of that car. Riley from Knoxville, the Quality Striping, Schilling Excavating, Camden Signage, DDI Fabrication, car number 22, as the white flag flies here on this hot lap session.
Macedo so far remains quick at 16.085. Ryan Timms up to second quick at 16.206. As we get a look at the Mark Daly Racing number 2 MD.
Ryan Timms into the 15-second now. Brian, 15 at 9.62.
Ayrton Jeniton. The Birdie Brands Hot Sauce number 3 machine.
What's your favorite flavor?
Haven't had it yet.
Haven't either. He was telling me about it the other day, and I'm guessing I'll get a chance this week to test some of them out.
I am not opposed.
He asked me, how hot do you like it? Well, I'm a mild guy at some of the
Iowa
chicken wing places. Ryan Timms, quickest car here in Hot Laps 15.962. In that Dennis Allbaugh, your alternative, car number 10. Carson Macedo, Nida, Xavier Doney, Riley Goodnow, Steven Snyder Jr., J.J. Hickle, Ayrton Jeniton. Thomas and Bloomfield round out the top 10. Next car rolls to the racetrack. Old 5-time himself from Elk Grove, California. The Allbaugh, your alternative. Finley Farms, Fulkins Brothers Trucking, FloRacing, JVI Group, HendrickCars.com. Car number 57. It's Young Money, Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson, the 5-time Front Row Challenge and defending champion of this event.
Also on track at the Kokomo, Indiana, driving the Indy Race Barge, chalk sticks, and shorter torsion bars, number 71, the law firm, Parker Price Miller.
Corey Day rolling onto the racetrack from Clovis, California. The Four Seas Construction, Sander Engineering, Sencal, Autry Plumbing, All-Star Performance, Tally Oil, car number 14.
Working around to the front straightaway at Ankeny, Iowa, the Higher View, IntelliSense, Heartland Steel, C&D Elevator Construction, number 4M. This is Cam Martin. Cam Martin in the number 4M. We got a McCarl on the track.
Oh, boy. This is Austin McCarl from Altoona, Iowa, the Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West Tucker Trucking, Ophil family, car number 88W, Austin McCarl, 4-time Knoxville Raceway track champion, currently thick in the battle of a championship fight in the second spot.
Speaking of McCarls, we got Carson on track as well out of Altoona, Iowa, driving the Jetco Blondie Motorsports. DeBurgh Concrete City Bending, number 27. Looking to overcome a little bit of a snafu last year. Remember, he came out, qualified, got through the heat race, and then the night just kind of fell apart from there, so hoping for a better performance here this evening.
Also on the racetrack, the young man from Sacramento, California, the Lightfoot Automotive, Morgan Precision Roofing, Kaiser Outlaw Wings, Flying A Motorsports, car number 2A. This is Austin Wood. Austin was the Rookie of the Year at the 360 Knoxville Nationals from Sacramento, California.
So Kyle Larson immediately going up to the top of the boards, 15.793, 157.93 seconds for Larson. Parker Price Miller, a 15.879 coming around that time around. Austin McCarl third quick right now. Ryan Timms and Corey Day currently make up the top 5. So the Durst, Finley Farms, HendrickCars.com, Allbaugh, your alternative, number 57, making his way through turns at 3 and 4. See if he comes down and improves the time anymore. It is not so far. Checkered flag is out here on this flight of hot laps.
What's encouraging, Brian, is the bottom half of the top 10 moved around a bunch in this flight. So the track's still coming in, and we saw Carson McCarl getting in there. Austin Wood was 9th quick. Carson was 10th quick. So Cam Martin into the 7th spot here in Hot Lap 16.123. So it's nice to see the bottom half of the top 10 also improving.
Don't forget the 50/50 on sale here on the grounds. And again, there are QR codes set up, and that is to benefit the Steve King Foundation. And as long as you are inside the state of Iowa, you can participate. So if that QR code is posted out to the Oski Challenges Facebook page or anything like that, as long as you're inside the state, don't have to be a resident, you will be able to play along. I believe the final group of hot laps making their way out right now. Jai Corbett, the Queensland, Australia driver, driving the Corbett Group, Bybee Electric, Mel Hamilton Ford, Ike's Performance, Precision Well Surface number 25, going to push out onto the Speedway.
Also on the racetrack from Pleasantville, Iowa, the ID Concrete Pro Diesel, STC KCI Dibblado, car number 1TZ. This is Tasker Phillips.
The Macho Man, Brady Bacon at Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, TheDave.com, Inland Rigging, Bauman Motorsports, Smith Titanium, number 31 machine, a 5-time winner on the season. Of course, the American Sprint Car Series, Ultimate Sprint Car Series, as well as the United States Auto Club. All sanctioning bodies that the Macho Man has gone to victory lane with.
Spencer Bastin on the racetrack from Lebanon, Indiana. That's the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting. Tag Truck Center's Z-Max Stanton Racing Engines, car number 17. Of course, Spencer has been to victory lane once this year. He got it early in the season, kind of his debut in this car. That win came at Volusia at the Dirt Car Nationals.
Also on track at Enumclaw, Washington, driving the curb records, Kane Screen Print, Napa. Scott Boyd family, number 4. We're looking at Casey Kane. Casey Kane in the number 4 machine. Looking to make his 14th A-feature appearance of the season. Of course, picked up a win earlier this year at the Williams Grove Speedway back in the month of May.
Wasn't that cool?
That was neat.
It was neat to see him get that win in the 39M car. There's a look at the 7B of Ben Brown. Ben's from Marshall, Missouri. That's the Brown Farms TRP Powder Coating, Northern Tier Outdoors. TC Properties, Community Auto Sales, car number 7B.
So we get final flight of hot laps out onto the Speedway. Drivers will get the green and we'll get underway. So still a lot of movement up through the field. And you talked about in the top 10, a lot of movement the last time out. And
Jai Corbett up into the top 10 now, 16.204.
I just want to know who's 8th quick. It's Non.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
This is the joys of when technology decides not to technology.
Right. Scott Boguski, 9th quickest, 16.099. Spencer Bastin into the top 10 now as well. Tasker Phillips, 7th quick, 16.051. And that non-car that you talked about went 3rd quick right there. It's got to be Casey Kane.
It's Casey. Nah, man, it ain't Casey.
Nah,
no, it
man.
is.
So Kyle Larson, Corey Day, Casey Kane, Parker Price Miller, Austin McCarl, Ryan Timms, Tasker Phillips, Carson Macedo, Scott Boguski, and Spencer Bastin. Round out your top 10 here in these hot lap sessions. Brian, money is just falling into this racetrack for this purse here tonight. We just found out there's another $1,000 in the kitty tonight for our race savers. Yeah,
they're getting an extra $1,000 to win, courtesy of Chuck and Larry's Transmissions in Des Moines.
So now it's $2,000 to win.
Yeah. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry's winner tonight. Couldn't pass that one up.
Couldn't pass it up.
If you are watching tonight's race live on the FloRacing 24/7 channel, welcome. This is an exclusive look at the kind of action FloRacing streams all year long. Dirt, pavement, drag racing, and everything in between. Scan the QR code on your screen now and visit FloRacing.com to access over 1,000 races live and on demand.
And don't forget, tomorrow night we'll be live from the Marshalltown Speedway. The 360s and these race savers you'll see here in a little bit will be on the card tomorrow night at the Marshalltown Speedway.
And, of course, the United States Auto Club on FloRacing. They're the exclusive live broadcast rider of the 3 National Touring Series of USAC competition. USAC NOS Energy Drink Mid-National Championship back on track this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coles County on Friday and Saturday. And then the debut at Jacksonville Speedway. And, oh, by the way, 410 non-wing sprint cars on the card on Sunday as well.
And that is a fun place to watch sprint cars. Jacksonville's a great racetrack.
That track has been on my bucket list for years.
Look at this crowd. Boy, great crowd here tonight at the Southern Iowa Speedway. As we mentioned at the top of the show, it's just a beautiful evening here, and the weather has really came out and just the way we wanted it here tonight.
There's this other event going on this week. It's
Wing
a big
contest?
Wing eating contest, yeah.
The granddaddy of them all?
That's right.
That's the one.
NOS Energy Knoxville Nationals, powered by Casey's. Of course, if you cannot be there live, and this is just a proof we all actually get along, contrary to everybody believes, that's over on Dirt Vision. So there's no reason, if you can't make it there, you can't see it live. Everybody likes to think we all sit in a back room and we just say bad things about each other. No, we're actually all pretty good friends in this industry.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the cool things about Southern Iowa Sprint Speed Week. If you can't do the 10 days away, because that can be hard for people to get that much time off consecutively.
Oh, yeah.
You can catch it all. You can catch it a little bit on Dirt Vision. You hop over to Flow for a couple of nights. So it's perfect. It's the best of both worlds.
And they're watching from everywhere right now. because the man, the myth, the legend, Tommy Estes, is in Florida right now, checking out all the action.
Speaking of the Florida man.
Right on cue. Going to make his way out onto the Speedway. Qualifying, getting underway 2 cars at a time. Going to move out onto the Speedway. Danny Sams III in Northport, Florida, driving the Global Link Moxie Creative Product Groups. Number 24D, picking up a win at Butler Speedway back on May 16th. Going to be joined on track by the driver out of Knoxville, Iowa, driver of the Renz Motorsports, Mike Leck Paving, Randall Roofing at DC Underground number 4W. This is Jamie Ball. Lap number 1 for the 24D as they come around here. We'll see if times start to make their way in. Danny Sams with a 15.794. Jamie Ball 16.111 as they make their way around. We'll see if the second time is better for Sams. It is not. 15.825. Second time by for Jamie Ball. We'll see if he improves on his time. He does not. A 16.199. So right now, Danny Sams III, the Florida man, sets the mark. So again, 2 cars at a time out onto the Speedway. 2 laps, quicker of the 2 counting towards their qualifying effort.
Next 2 cars make their way onto the racetrack, led out by the car number 15J from Knoxville, the Load King by Custom Truck One Source, Stall Farms, Briggs Transportation entry. This is Cade Higday. And also on the racetrack from Tulsa, in the JB Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV, car number 45X. This is Reese Moran. Reese Moran picked up that win, the Bull Haulers Brawl. First lap time for him is a 15.937. That's second quick. Cade Higday, 16.253, 4th quick for Cade in that car number 15J. Second lap time coming up for Moran is better, 15.836. He's second quick in lap number 2 for Cade Higday. Also improves to 4th quick, 16.169. So Danny Sams, Reese Moran, Jamie Ball, and Cade Higday.
They'll make their way back into the pit area. And it's a crossroads back there, so we have to make sure we let them clear before we bring the next 2 onto the racetrack, as we're going to have the 45 pulling out onto the Speedway. Derek Hagar to Marion, Arkansas, driver the Camden Signs, Maxwell Racing Engine, QSI, J&J Clean Feet. Number 45 going to be joined on track by the driver out of Glenpool, Oklahoma, the Reese Construction, D&W Towing, Missile Motorsports, Maximum Oil, Triple X number 95. This is Matt Covington. Covington of the 95, working the back straightaway. The QSI number 45 on the front straightaway. Second quick for Derek Hagar, 15.826. First time by for Matt Covington, 4th quick at a 16.052. Danny Sams holds on to the top spot for the time being, 0.031 seconds. The difference between first and second. Comes around second time by. Does the guy have it? No. Slower, 15.921. Lap number 1 going to be his best attempt. Second time by for Covington is better. Peels about a 1/10 of a second off at a 15.914.
So those 2 cars will make their way off of the racing surface on the back straightaway, and then we'll push off the next 2 cars as they are making their way out, set to qualify. First one out in this pair from Concordia, Missouri, the 360 Silva KNC Drywall Berkey Motorsports, car number 27B. It's Garrett Benson. And also on the racetrack from Sanborn, Minnesota, the Trom Farms, Joel Pingen Trucking Creek Area Ag Service, car number 24T. This is Christopher Trom. Christopher Trom in the 24T. Benson coming around here for lap number 1. He will stop the clock. Christopher Trom's lap coming up also. Second quick for Christopher Trom, 15.796, 15796. Garrett Benson, 8th quickest, 16.363. His improvement there. Also an improvement for lap number 2 of Christopher Trom, 15.795. That puts Christopher into the 2nd position, and Garrett Benson will be 8th.
Got to correct myself. I was talking about Jacksonville, and I was all psyched thinking non-wing sprint cars. No, that's wing country.
That's okay.
So Wing 410 is going to be on the card along with the midgets. But back to qualifying. First driver to tell you about now on track is going to be Xavier Doney out of Odessa, Missouri. Driver the Design Source Flooring and Motor Haven, Shanae Lawson Chassis, Pillow Building Systems, Cat Excavation number 74. Joined on track by Dylan Bloomfield out of Oakley, California. The Kiwi Landscaping, Rod Supply, Rockwell Security number 8N. First time by for the 74. Going to be 6 quick at a 16.026. First time by for the 8 of Bloomfield. Going to be 9th quick at a 16.303. Bloomfield, a 4-time winner of the season, most recently in a 410 is Spoon River back on June 20th. Second time by for Doney, it better, 15.993, still 6 quick for the Odessa, Missouri racer. And the second time by for Bloomfield, better by a little over a tenth of a second, 16.183, ninth currently in qualifying. Danny Sams the third so far, still your quickest driver, 15.794.
The next two cars begin to make their way trackside. Will be led out by the car number 21T from Alice Springs, Northern Territory, the Tarleton & Son Executive Auto Sales, American Rock and Rent, Bandy & Associates, Durst entry. This is James McFadden. And also on the racetrack from Bozeman, Montana, the Rockin' R Bar, car number 3 of Cole Schroeder. James McFadden coming around here for lap number 1. He will clock in quick time, 15.721, 15721 first lap time for Schroeder, 12th quick, 16.744. The 2023 Front Row Challenge winner, James McFadden, comes around on lap number 2. Quicker, 15.683, 15683, and lap number 2 for Cole Schroeder also improves, still 12th quick, 16.453. So James McFadden now sets the mark to beat 15.683. Danny Sams, Christopher Traum, Derek Hagar, and Reese Moran, your top 5.
So looking at the qualifying order, Gage Polkerbeck was supposed to be on track. Again, an update if you're just joining us on the broadcast, getting upside down earlier as we continue on here with qualifying. Carson Macedo on track at Lemoore, California. The all-ball your alternative, Mississippi Valley Transportation, Sage Family. Tarleton & Sons number 41 machine. Going to be joined on track by Cale Thomas out of Fairland, Indiana. The Dave.com inland breaking at Bioman Motorsports. Smith Titanium number 31. Course Macedo, 4 wins on the season, comes around in his opening lap. Second quick at a 15.711. 15.711 for Carson Macedo. First time by for Cale Thomas. Ninth quick at a 16.065. Driver of the number 31 machine. A trio of wins. Mansfield on July 31st, his most recent trip to victory lane. Macedo, quick time at a 15.613, 15613 seconds. Carson Macedo goes to the top of the boards here in qualifying. Cale Thomas, second time by, slower, 16.171. But you've got a new driver atop of qualifying. It is Carson Macedo in the 41, 15.613.
Next two cars roll to the racetrack now, led out by the car number 26R from Burlington, Washington, in the Skagit Speedway, Rudine Racing, $10 restoration, car number 26R. This is Levi Hillier. And also on the racetrack from El Paso, Texas, the RVB Transport, Huban, Mount Sharp, car number 8. This is John Carney II. First lap time coming around here for Levi Hillier. He will clock in 10th quick, 16.071, 16071. First lap time for Carney, 12th quick, 16.161. Levi Hillier, 5-time winner this season. His last win came on July the 21st. Lap number 2 for him is better, 9th quick, 16.028. And second lap time for John Carney II will also improve. He'll stay 12th quick, 16.136 for John Carney II.
Couple of drivers with problems earlier during hot laps. McFadden and Bacon both had to pull off of the Speedway. Looks like McFadden may have resolved the issue on his machine as our next round of drivers pull out here in Jet Performance qualifying. Steven Snyder Jr. to Rising Sun, Maryland. The Indy Performance Composites, Ronda Supply, Maxim High Performance Lubricants, TJ Ford's number 51 out onto the Speedway, joined by the Bernie Brands Hot Sauce High Performance Lubricants, Hemden Gravel Wet Steps, number 3A of Ayrton Jennington out of Grand Voice Mills, Missouri. 30 starts on the season, 9 top 5s and 16 top 10s for the driver of the number 3A. The 51 is Steven Snyder, 7th quick in his opening lap, 15.889. Of course, went to victory lane at Williams Grove back on April 3rd. Ayrton Jennington, 16th quick in his opening lap with a 16.207. Snyder, 24 A-feature appearances, 1 win, 4 top 5s, and 11 top 10 finishes in many different types of open wheel racing. 7th quick is where he remains. Slower lap number 2, 16.101. Jennington coming around better on time, 13th quick at a 16.118.
Next two cars who begin to make their way onto the racetrack, led out by the driver from Quilcene, Washington. This is the Orangen Earthworks Apex Graphics Windsor Construction STC Moyle, car number 63 of J.J. Hickle. And also on the clock from Oklahoma City, the all-ball your alternative CP Excavating Raw Machinery, car number 10 of Ryan Timms. First lap time coming up for J.J. Hickle is 11th quick, 16.049. Lap number 1 for Ryan Timms, 9th quick, 15.967. Of course, JJ has 2 wins in a 360 this season at the Knoxville Raceway. He comes around on lap number 2 and will stop the clock 10th quick, 15.981. He improves on his second lap, and lap number 2 for Ryan Timms, also an improvement. He moves up to second quick, 15.665 for the 360 Nationals champion. Ryan Timms goes to the 2 spot in car number 10.
0.052 seconds off of the pace of that quick qualifying time as we continue on here in Jet Performance qualifying. Next driver onto the Speedway, Darren Knight out of Adrian, Michigan. Driving the Mushikins, STP Motorsports, Ackland Insurance, Moon and Dagger Tattoo, Any Race Parts, Mark Daly Racer number 2 MD. Joined on track by the driver from right down the road in Knoxville, Iowa, the Quality Striping, Schilling Excavating, Camden Signs, DDI Fabrication number 22. This is Riley Goodnow. First time by for the 2MD, 12th quick at a 16.009. Goodnow coming by in the 22, first attempt, 15th quick at a 16.084. 41 starts on the season, 5 top 5s and 22 top 10s for Goodnow so far this year. Darren Knight at 28 A-feature appearances, and he goes 10th quick, second time by to 15.937. So an improvement by 0.072 second time by. Riley Goodnow improving by 0.122 seconds, 15.962, 11th quick for the Knoxville, Iowa racer. So far, Carson Macedo holds on for your Jet Performance quick qualifying time. We'll see if that holds at a 15.613.
A family affair, next 2 cars to qualify. From Altoona, Iowa, driving the Jetco Bondi Motorsports last time exteriors DeBurgh Concrete City vending car number 27, it's Carson McCarl. And from Altoona, the Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West Tucker Trucking, Ophel Family, car number 88W. This is Austin McCarl. The McCarl brothers on the clock now. First lap time around for Carson is 14th quick, 16.004, 16.004. Lap number 1 for Austin is 4th quick, 15.770. Carson McCarl's best finish this season, 3rd in a 360. Lap number 2 for him is a 16.057. His first lap better, 16.004. And lap number 2 for Austin is a 15.811. He will also take his first lap of 15.770 in the car number 88W. Of course, Austin has 1 win this season in IRA competition at the Davenport Speedway.
37 drivers in the pits, and of course the brothers
gotta pick each other.
They come out together. Next 2 drivers out to the Speedway, going to be led out by your 5-time and defending champion to the Front Row Challenge at Elk Grove, California. Driving the all-ball your alternative at Finley Farms, Vulcan Brothers Trucking, FloRacing, JVI Group, HendrickCars.com, number 57. This is Kyle Larson. Larson going to be joined on track by Jai Corbett. He's out of Gippy, Queenslands, Australia. Driving the Corbett Group, Bybee Electric, Mel Hamilton Racing, Ike's Performance, number 25. Larson 3rd quick on lap number 1, 15.667. 15.667 for Kyle Larson on lap number 1. Corbett coming around 14th quick at a 15.978. Larson in the 57. 25 starts on the dirt this season. It goes along with 8 wins. 3rd quick is where he's going to stay. A little bit slower second time by, 15.725. Of course, coming in off the win of the Capitani Classic. And Corbett comes around a little bit better on time, not position, 15.949, still 13th in the number 25.
The next car to hit the racetrack is from California in the car number 14. This is Corey Day, the Four Seas Construction Sander Engineering SinCal entry. And also on the racetrack set to qualify from Indianapolis, Indiana, in the Indy Race Parts Wood Racing Engines, Chalk 6 and Schroeder Torsion Bars, car number 71, it's Parker Price Miller. Parker Price Miller in the 71. First lap time for Corey Day is 8th quickest, 15.812. 15.812. Lap number 1 for Parker is 5th quick, 15.714. Second lap time coming around for Corey Day, a 6-time winner this season, is a 15.863, his first lap better. And lap number 2 for PPM is quick time, 15.596. 15.596. Parker Price Miller coming out middle of the field and laying down a heater.
Gets it by 0.017 seconds. Macedo back to second. Timms in third. Larson in fourth. McFadden right now make up your top 5 quickest qualifiers. As we move on to Cam Martin at Ankeny, Iowa, the Higher View and Telesins. Heartland Steel, C&D Elevator Construction number 4M. Out onto the Speedway. Going to be joined by the young driver to Sacramento, California. Driver of the Lightfoot Automotive. Kaiser Outlaw Wings flying in number 2A. This is Austin Wood. Wood, a 3-time winner on the season at Silver Dollar, as well as Placerville Speedway. The 4M coming around in his opening lap, 22nd quick at a 19.098. Picking up a win earlier this year at Lee County Speedway. That was back on May 22nd. Wood, his first time around, 22nd on the grid currently at a 16.093. Cam, that car a little tight off the left rear. You see it kind of crab walking up the racetrack there at the exit to number 4. Does improve, though. 21st quick at a 16.053. Peels off 0.043 seconds. Austin Wood, second time by slower, 16.146. He'll stand on his opening lap, 16.093. 23rd currently here in Jet Performance qualifying for Austin Wood, where Parker Price Miller remains your quickest driver at a 15.596.
Rolling out next onto the racetrack in the car number 17 from Lebanon, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting Tag Truck Center ZMAX entry. This is Spencer Baston. And also on the racetrack from Marshall, Missouri, the Brown Farms, TRP Powder Coating Northern Tier Outdoors 7B of Ben Brown. Spencer Baston 10th in World of Outlaw point standings. He comes around for lap number 1. He'll clock in. I didn't get a time. There it is. 15.980. 16.361 lap 1 for Ben Brown. So those 2 cars coming around for their first lap. Second lap time for Spencer Baston. Is a 15.874, 15.874. That's 12th quickest. And Ben Brown comes around on lap number 2, improves 16.286.
So those two will make their way down to the scales. Next 2 drivers are going to make their way out onto the Speedway. Out of McLarenville, South Australia, drove the Midwest Ag Professionals. Purple Wave auction number 1. Next, this is Scott Boguski will make his way out onto the Speedway. And Brady Bacon, mentioned earlier, had to pull down into the pits during hot laps. The team rectifying problems. For the Dave.com Inland Breaking Bauman Motorsports Smith Titanium, number 31B. Most recent victory with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship up in Circle City during NOS Energy Drink Indiana Sprint Week presented by K&M Filters. As coming around, Boguski 21st quick in his opening lap, 16.016. Brady Bacon 30th quick at a 16.181. Taking a little bit of a rough and tumble last night behind the wheel of the 21H. As Boguski comes around better, 16th quick at a 15.946. We'll see if the Macho Man can come around and improve second time by. He does improve a little bit, 25th quick at a 16.089. So down into the final handful of drivers to qualify here in Jet Performance qualifying. In fact, it looks like 2 more on the card.
I believe the final 2, perhaps, Brian, coming onto the racetrack now. Led out by the car number 1TZ from Pleasantville, Iowa. This is the ID Concrete Pro Diesel STC KCI Dildo entry of Tasker Phillips. And also on the clock now from Enumclaw, Washington, the Curb Records, Kane Screen Print, Napa, Liuna, Ballard, Scott Boyd family, car number 4 of Casey Kane. Of course, Casey Kane's most recent win, as Brian mentioned earlier, at the Grove on May the 8th. Tasker goes a 16.122 here on lap number 1. First lap time for Casey Kane. Brian, do you have it?
15.84. There it came by.
And lap number 2 for Tasker is a 15.930. He improves on lap number 2. Second lap time for Casey Kane is also an improvement, is 12th quickest, 15.845. So I don't believe Gage Polkerbeck will be making a lap here at the end either, Brian. I don't believe I see him coming back out.
No, do not see him on any of our views as well. Again, taking that pretty hard hit during hot laps earlier. So the unofficial results from Jet Performance qualifying. 5th quick was McFadden. Larson is 4th quick. Timms is 3rd quick. Macedo 2nd quick. And he lays the gavel down early. The law firm, Parker Price Miller to Kokomo, Indiana, takes the Indy Race Parts number 71 to the top of Jet Performance qualifying with a 15.596 second lap.
Good flight of qualifying there. Nice top 10 there. Austin McCarl came in there in the 6th spot. former champion James McFadden in the top 10 as well, Brian. So some good cars qualifying really well here tonight.
So we mentioned the Front Row Challenge. This is non-sanctioned. There are members of at least a half a dozen sanctioning bodies and tracks that are a part of this event. Of course, we have the World of Outlaws, we have High Limit, we have Knoxville, we have USAC, we have IRA. So there's a lot of people that come together to put on an event like this, and it's almost kind of like Expo, where you have officials from all around the country that come in for the Tulsa Shootout, the Chili Bowl Nationals, and it's everybody here for the love of the game.
Yeah, it's one of the things that makes this race fun, I think, even for the teams, is that there's no series points going on here tonight. Everybody's just here racing for some money, and it brings out a huge crowd. And, the infield party that goes on and everything else that happens here that the McCarls put together, the foot race that we'll see later on here tonight, and the beads that go to the grandstands and all the other things. Kevin Hone from Seafoam was handing out icicle pops to the kids earlier this afternoon. So it's a great day. It's a great time for families to come out and have a good time at the races.
Talking about upcoming events on FloRacing, and of course, mentioned Marshalltown tomorrow. 360's back there for the first time since
89.
89, wow. USAC coming up, midgets on track, Coles County, and again, sprint cars and midgets going to be on the card at Jacksonville on Sunday. Sprint cars of the winged variety. And looking ahead also for the Interstate Battery High Limit Racing. They're heading out to California. Santa Maria on the 20th, Thunderbolt Raceway on the 21st, Placerville on the 22nd, Silver Dollar on the 27th. So all kinds of great racing coming up.
And don't forget, they'll have a pre-race show from the Knoxville Nationals this week as well in the afternoon. So check your streaming schedule to make sure you don't miss any of that coverage. Is happening at Tony Laporta, Chase Rodman, and I believe B-Walk will be there, right?
I believe so.
That's what I heard.
I have not seen B-Walk yet here. I saw him around 360
I saw him
Nationals.
a couple days ago, so he is in Iowa.
Yes. the Walkopedia Twitter, or X these days. Back in my day,
yeah, right,
we had the MySpace, whatever it was,
There's a look at the IMCA Race Savers down in the staging lanes getting set to come out for their hot lap session here.
14.
Nice field.
Trying to remember, did you say they were on the card tomorrow as well?
They are.
So if you are a fan of 360 as well as Race Saver competition, you have a chance to check them out up at Marshalltown tomorrow. Of course, all the ways to follow along here on the FloRacing broadcast. Of course, that's where we need to be if you're not in the grandstands, but also with the My Race Pass app, free to download in both the Apple and Android markets. And if you do get the premium membership, that does include live timing and scoring. A reminder, if it is on My Race Pass as well as social media, it is unofficial. Oski Challenges online is where you'll find all the official news, notes, points, and updates, oskichallenges.com.
So we're just getting a few cars across the racetrack right now into the infield, and then I believe we'll be set to bring the IMCA Race Savers out for their hot lap sessions.
And again, right now, just hot lapping, no qualifying. If you are familiar with the IMCA format, it is opening day format. And being in Iowa, they are going to be familiar with the IMCA format.
So if you're standing there in the open grandstands, go ahead and wave. That's right. You can wave. It's okay.
We're just doing some casual stalking. So who in the grandstands migrated from the North Campground of Knoxville? We got a few.
A few folks.
Who's from right here in town? Who drove at least 6 hours to be a part of the racing action here today? Oh, yeah.
Wow. How about that?
I like it.
Hey, just a reminder to the folks in the infield, after hot laps here, after this session, we'll need you to take down all the tents in the infield. Those will have to all come down. So if you're in the infield with the party pass following this last set of hot laps here for the Race Savers, we will need all the tents to come down.
Hey, don't forget opening ceremonies. Of course, as always, we will invite everybody from the infield to come out and be a part of opening ceremonies. Of course, we'll have Pastor Troy down there. He'll have the invocation. We'll have everybody in the stands who follows along and sings along with the national anthem. So, again, be ready for that. We'll have opening ceremonies coming up here in just a little bit.
Gage Weldon on the racetrack in that 35L. There's the 9A of Hunter Hansen in the HHR entry from Lakefield, Minnesota. I think our favorite one's coming up here in a minute, Brian.
See
there it is.
Yep. Randy Martin has bad-looking race cars, said nobody ever. That man has the most pristine machines I've ever seen on a racetrack, and it's every time he rolls in.
In 30 years of calling sprint car races, his cars have been cherry every time you see him. That's Jeff Wilkie in the car number 41 from Knoxville, Iowa. The guy they call long hair, John Lambert's in the Chapel Hill car number 12L. Sioux Falls, South Dakota driver.
45 machine. Driver originally out of California, Monty Ferreira. Now at Lincoln, Nebraska. On track. He's another one. Every time he shows up, his cars are usually really sharp looking.
For sure. That's Curtis Evans from Norborn, Missouri in car number 21. Randy Martin quickest here in hot laps, 18.251. Gage Weldon, 18.594. Jeff Wilkie, Curtis Evans, and Hunter Hansen round out the top 5. There's a look at that Diamond Pet Food, car number 14 of the Randy Martin Racing stables. So as Brian mentioned earlier, 14 IMCA Race Savers in competition here tonight.
Miles Hill checking in.
Well, Mr. Hill. Our good friend Chuck Sink also tuned in.
Haven't heard from Chuck in a while. Hope he's doing well.
I hear from him every now and then. I love hearing from that guy. What a great ambassador for sprint car racing.
Dr. Sullivan.
Patrick.
Yep, checking in.
There's Mike Moore from Des Moines, Iowa. There's 3 Moores here. Mike is the father of the 2 boys that we'll see here competing
I was going to say,
tonight.
we got more and more here. The 91X, Adam Goulian.
Good-looking race car.
Another driver that always brings awesome-looking cars to the racetrack. Speaking of Moores, Logan in the 6. And I think Laney was just out there as well in the 9.
And, Brian, they are identical twins. When they stand next to each other, they are identical.
It's one where the parents growing up had to put an X on the forehead just to, you know,
Yeah.
okay, you are.
Exactly.
Who else do we have out there? Got the 91, Andrew Sullivan. He's got kind of an old school flair with the yellow and the orange.
Yep.
So just the difference in these cars. Jake Greenwood in the 43 coming to speed in the back straightaway. Randy Martin, 18.251 right now, is the quickest driver on track. Look back to qualifying where Parker Price Miller turned a 15.596. So no replacement for displacement.
That's right. Exactly right. It's Trevor Service in car number 10. Trevor, the Olivia, Minnesota driver.
And don't be fooled, they may not be going as fast as the 410s, but these guys are still booking pretty good. Adam Goulian on screen right now, going up and putting down the quickest time. He's the only driver right now with a 17-second range, 17.933.
A little bit of vapor trails off of these wings already, Brian.
I like it.
Wow.
Saw it the other night during the 360 Nationals as well, where they were starting to lay down some vapor trails.
So Adam Goulian quickest here in IMCA Race Saver Hot Lap, 17.933. A good time for him at Andrew Sullivan, then Trevor Service, Randy Martin, Jake Greenwood, your top 5 here. We're going to take a quick break here on Flow, and when we come back, we'll have some opening ceremonies, I believe, here very soon. It's the Front Row Challenge at Oskaloosa. We'll be right back.
At McKay Group, we care. Beyond your coverage. That means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people. Real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
Please hold. This will only take 24.67 seconds. In this arena, there's no margin for error. Every component has one job. Perform when it counts. Precision, strength, consistency, maximum performance development.
Since 1987, UltraShield has been a proud Texas-based manufacturer of racing safety products trusted by racers at every level. Whether it's custom-built seats, armor seat belts, or inside tear-offs, UltraShield delivers the safety, quality, and performance racers demand. Drivers like Justin Grant, Kyle Larson, Sheldon Haudenshield, Ricky Thornton Jr., and more trust UltraShield when it matters most. Race with confidence. Trust UltraShield. Visit ultrashieldrace.com.
FloRacing Studios
We'll
live.
tune into Flow and watch pretty much any race we want.
This is our Daytona 500. This is it.
The largest crowd in the history. Destiny fulfilled.
This is the biggest race I've ever won.
This is exactly the group you need to put on a big event like this.
The biggest night in pavement late model racing history.
Kubota High Limit Racing.
You're watching the greatest sprint car drivers in the world right here on FloRacing.
Welcome back, everybody watching on FloRacing, to the Front Row Challenge here at Oskaloosa. Fast timer tonight, Jet Performance quick time, a $500 bonus to Parker Price Miller. Parker, that's a heck of a good way to start the night.
Yeah, it was really good. You know, I kind of saw a few guys hit the bottom and just made sure I got one on the top and felt pretty good. And I hit it in 1 and 2, and I was like, that's got to be really good. And I wasn't expecting to go quick time, but yeah, just can't thank Wood Racing Engines enough. Jay and Brandon back there just doing a great job. That thing rips. You know, it ran really good last night, and it showed tonight too. So can't thank them enough. And Bernie and Betsy have been doing a great job too. You know, we went back to our standard stuff, and our car's been really good the past few weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say that last night you were good. Tonight, quick time. This is the right time of the year to, I don't know, build momentum, we'll say.
Yeah, you know, just excited for the rest of the week. Really excited to unveil our car for this week, starting tomorrow, and we're going to have a really cool giveaway. So stay tuned in for that, and you guys won't want to miss it. It could be a really cool gift.
There we go. Give him a hand one more time, race fans. Parker Price Miller, tonight's quick timer here tonight, presented by Jet Performance, a $500 bonus. And what a great way to get started here with the Front Row Challenge.
Absolutely. Got to love seeing those extra prize monies going out to these drivers here as they compete for the bragging rights too a little bit. You know, everybody wants to win these special races because they mean a lot. They get the cool wrestling belt as the trophy. See Parker's car right there. Bernie on the wrenches, checking out the air, looking at the computer, getting ready to dial in that car some more. If you're in the infield, you'll want to make your way toward the front straightaway to participate in tonight's national anthem singing. So if you're in the infield, start heading toward the front straightaway so you can participate in the national anthem.
Because if you don't participate, that means Terry McCarl has to sing.
I was hoping you'd get a sing.
Oh, no, we don't want that.
I've heard that before, though.
If I did, it would have to be like an obscure voice of a cartoon character. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come in the evening. We want to know, are you ready for the Front Row Challenge? We would ask in respect of the nation of Australia before we get to our national anthem that you would rise as well. But before we get to the singing of the anthems, we will turn first to God and Pastor Troy.
Please join me in prayer. Father God, thank you so much for the beautiful evening you've given us here at the Southern Iowa Speedway. Lord, I thank you for this great race night, and I thank you for this great nation that we live in. Father, as the flag is raised behind me, I thank you for the freedoms that have been fought for down through the years and paid for with the blood of many veterans. Father, I thank you for that, and I pray that we would never take that for granted. And Lord, as we race tonight, I pray that you'd put your hand of mercy over this track and protect each of these drivers as they race, and each of the crew members as they work on the cars, and each of the officials and the safety crews as they work here tonight. And I ask these things in the precious name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to perform the anthem of the nation of Australia, Miss Tyla from Melbourne.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with gold and soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea, our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Okay. She's going to start us off, but we also have some kids jacked up on Mountain Dew down here. They're going to take part in it. Wait, hang on. You were covering your heart with a piece of mud. That's about the most Iowa thing I've ever seen. Love the shirt, by the way. Kids, are you ready? Race fans, are you ready to join us here tonight? If you would, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming,
whose broad stripes and bright stars
through the perilous fight rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
In Racing United in Dirt, we are covered. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Iowa and the Front Row Challenge. Mr. Bachhoven, it is showtime.
Indeed it is. We're going to take a quick break here on Flow, and when we come back, we should have heat racing action. We've got 4 of them coming up here in just a minute. Stay tuned. More from Oski. It's almost race time. And welcome back to the Southern Iowa Speedway, the 31st Front Row Challenge. A big night of racing here as we get set to kick it off with the first of 4 heat races here tonight. Heat races will be 8 laps in distance. First one is the Oskaloosa True Value Heat Race. We'll go ahead and give you your lineup for heat race number 1, starting on the pole. From Quilcene, Washington, the Rengen Earthworks Apex Graphics, car number 63 is J.J. Hickel. Outside of the front row, driving the car number 2 MD from Adrian, Michigan, the Blue Emu entry, this is Darren Nida. Row 2 on the inside. From Lebanon, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink West Tennessee Expediting, car number 17 is Spencer Baston. And starting in the 4th spot from Clovis, California, the 4C Construction Sander Engineering, car number 14 of Corey Day. Your 3rd row on the inside, from Alice Springs, Northern Territory, the Tarleton & Son Executive Auto Sales, car number 21T of James McFadden. And starting 6th, your quick qualifier, from Kokomo, Indiana, in the Indy Race Parts Wood Racing Engines, car number 71 of Parker Price Miller. Cam Martin will line up on the inside of row number 4 from Ankeny, Iowa. Cam drives the Intellicent C&D Elevator Higher View, car number 4M. And starting in the 8th spot from Knoxville, Iowa, he drives the Renz Motorsports Mike Kleck Paving, car number 4W. It's Jamie Ball. Your final row finds Dylan Bloomfield in the car number 8M from Oakley, California, the Kiwi Landscaping Rod and Supply entry. And to his outside, scheduled to start, but I believe he will be scratched, will be the G5 of Gage Polkrebeck. 8 laps to distance here in the Oskaloosa True Value Hardware Heat Race number 1. As Brian mentioned, they'll be running for points cumulative. Words are hard. From the qualifying and the heat race.
Love the remix.
Finishes here, and that will be their qualifying point totals here tonight as we make our way through the heat races. Good job down there, by the way.
Thank you. I was watching the kid during the Australian anthem, and he just had that big clump of dirt between his hand and his chest. I'm like, that's Murica right there.
It was a good catch. J.J. Hickel getting ready to go here in heat race number 1 in the car number 63. Normally that car has a 360 between the frame rails as the Pace Truck Pella Motors and Craig Ford of Oskaloosa pace vehicle.
Of course, Apex Graphics on the side of that 63, and when he was chasing the American Sprint Car Series National Tour and in the Warren entry, that was always, so present on that car. So it was neat to see not only the 63, but also the Apex Graphics back on the side of that machine. Give me a little touch of nostalgia.
100%. Great to see him with that on there as well, and it's been fun to watch him maintaining his own car, also running in the Matt Morrow 2M in the 410 class in our weekly competition. Seeing him run his 360 has been a great time as well this season. So getting ready to go here, heat race number 1 brought to you by Oskaloosa True Value. 8 laps is the distance. J.J. Hickel set to bring the field to green as they work their way off of turn number 4. We look for a green flag, and we're underway.
And just like that, Hickle going to jump out to the early advantage. Side by side with the second spot. Brake rotor aglow on the 2 and the 17 of Basin, able to take advantage of the inside. He'll take over the second spot here. Keep an eye on Corey Day, the Sander Engineering 4Cs Construction number 14, along with the Indy Race Parts number 71. Parker Price Miller down to the inside. Power moves it at the exit of turn number 4.
Parker looking to the inside there as they race into turn number 2. Nida trying to fend off the charge, but he can't do it. Here comes PPM. He'll move by on the inside as they race into 3 and 4. JJ Hickle continuing lead. Baston running second. Nida in the third spot. Then Parker Price Miller and Corey Day. Here comes James McFadden. McFadden in 6th, looking for 5th.
Say McFadden really closed the gap there down the back straight, went through turns 3 and 4, loses some ground in turns 1 and 2. Now he's going to have Cam Martin really closing in there. Martin trying to get up into that mix, runs in the 7th spot. Bloomfield, Ball, and Polkerbeck was set to be in this heat race. Unfortunately, looks like his night. Corey Day moving around the racetrack at the 14 right now, rides in 5th. Going to close up real fast. That car, look at the left rear drive. He had those front tires cranked all the way down. Looks to the inside. He'll get by Nida. Gives a Nada here as they make their way around to the front straightaway.
Corey Day's car works really well on the bottom of the racetrack here. It seems to be locked down nicely as he races down the back straightaway. There's Nida, then James McFadden, the former winner of this event, closing in on the 5th spot. He'll look to the inside. Nida doing a nice job of holding him back, Brian. Closed the inside line off there, forced James to try to move up the racetrack.
Yeah, did exactly what he needed to do. J.J. Hickle leading 1.284 seconds right now over Spencer Baston, Parker Price Miller, Corey Day, Darren Nida. That's how they ride around inside the top 5. Hickle, the start, oh so crucial for him. Everybody kind of jockeying for position from second on back, and that allowed him to really get the jump, and he's carrying great momentum right now in that Apex Graphics number 63.
In the thick point battle for the top 4 spots at Knoxville in the Light and State Bank competition is J.J. Hickle. White flags in the air. 1 to go for your race leader here in Oskaloosa. True Value Heat Race number 1. J.J. leading down the back straightaway for the final time, Brian, through 3 and 4.
1.5 seconds of the white flag, and he is hammered down onto the front stretch. Heat Race number 1, brought to you by Oskaloosa True Value Hardware, belongs to J.J. Hickle. Spencer Basin in 6th, Parker Price Miller in 3rd, Corey Day in 4th, Darren Nida in 5th. James McFadden in 6th, Cam Martin, Dylan Bloomfield, and Jamie Ball unofficially rounding out your field.
Pretty good heat race here to open things up here tonight. There's a look at J.J. Hickle, the winner. Baston running 2nd. Parker Price Miller in 3rd. Corey Day 4th. Darren Nida in the 5th spot. Then James McFadden, Martin, Bloomfield, Ball, and Gage Polkerbeck did not start here in heat race number 1. Austin, he was pretty good here in heat race number 1. That car normally has a 360 between the frame rails.
Yeah, not bad here for J.J. Hickle, as we'll let him get the helmet off and unstrap. J.J., I tell you what, that is a heck of a job picking up that heat race win. It really come down to the start. I thought the start was pretty good. Terry McCarl showing off the hardware that you've just won. Got a really good start. That seemed to be the key to it.
Yeah, you know, we got off good. I think Blake and Adam gave me a really good car. Shout out to Vern. This Charlie Fisher's running really good. And I mean, yeah, just got off to a good start. And I mean, I know there's a bunch of fast guys behind me, and I knew it paid pretty good to win this deal. So just tried to make really good, smooth qualifying laps and be as wide as we could.
Good to see you, JJ. Heat race winner, and how great is it to see you guys have the list, obviously, with the Smith Titanium front end that he got and all the other contingency prizes that I'm sure you'll remind us of here. But it's cool to hear a driver say, man, it's a big deal to win these heat races here at Oskaloosa.
About $3,700 worth of stuff. Smith tie front ends, Walker filters, Sander racing wheels worth $500 toward a purchase of $1,000. HRP gift certificates, Pit Pal gift certificates, a Dingus Lounge certificate, and second place, don't forget, also gets some winners front hubs.
So with that, Smith Titanium Heat Race number 2 going to begin to push out onto the Speedway. Driver slated for the poles out of Odessa, Missouri. The Design Source flooring number 74 of Xavier Doney. Next to him in the Midwest Ag Professionals number 1. Next to McLarenville, South Australia, that's Scott Boguski. Next row for the inside at Rising Sun, Maryland, driving the IPC number 51. It's going to be Steven Snyder Jr. He'll roll from 3rd. From 4th, it is the guy, Derek Hagar of Marion, Arkansas. Driving the Maxwell-powered Camden Signs, number 45. Austin McCarl of Altoona, Iowa, the Country Builders Construction. Ophil family number 88. He'll go for the 5th starting spot. And the driver out of Lemoore, California, Carson Macedo. In the All-Ball Year Alternative, the CFLA Transportation, Tarleton and Sons number 41. He'll go for the 6th starting spot. Driver the number 31 here this evening out of Fairland, Indiana. Driver the Dave.com entry is going to be Cale Thomas. He'll go from 7th. From 8th, Ayrton Genitin, driver the Purdy Brands Hot Sauce. Number 3, at Gravois Mills, Missouri. And your final starter is slated to be one Ben Brown out of Marshall, Missouri, driver the Brown Farms TC Properties, number 7B.
How about Xavier Doney starting on the front row? We talked about him in hot laps getting mentored by Sammy Swindell this year, picking up a couple wins with Power I this season, a two-time winner already this year in Power I 410s. I believe his first visit here.
It is. So for Xavier, a little bit of pressure to try to get up there and get the win here. But, of course, when you got somebody like Sammy who is very, very intense at a racetrack, but also very cool.
Right.
Like, he will get riled up, but you have to get him there. But in a situation like this, he's almost the calming force because he's not actually in the car. He's just kind of watching everything go on. He's heading down towards the McKay Group start zone over in turns 3 and 4. Of course, McKay Group, the title sponsor of the 31st running of the Front Row Challenge. They'll come around. Ooh, we got him a little bit sideways there at the exit turn number 4. We'll see if this one stands. So far, the green light stays on as they work onto the back straightaway, and it will be Xavier Doney taking full advantage. He'll jump out to the early lead. The one of Boguski right now running that second spot as they come around to click off lap number 1. Driver on the move, looking to the high side, goes Macedo, goes after Hagar. The guy's got company.
Derek Hagar in that third spot trying to hold back the charge as Macedo goes to the top of the racetrack. Doesn't want to leave the inside open because Austin McCarl is right there looking on. Here comes Macedo again to challenge. Hagar in that fourth spot. Macedo 5th. Then McCarl is in the 6th position. They're nose to tail as they race off into 1.
Boy, and he about left that inside line open there for a second. You saw the 88 try to dive for it. Couldn't get there fast enough as he'll ride behind the number 41. Getting another look at it here down the back straightaway from the inside shot here. The RF camera doing a great job down there as we've got Hagar holding on to that position. Right now sitting in 4th. Snyder running in 3rd. Boguski running in 2nd. Everybody still chasing Xavier Doney. Down to the inside goes the big unit. Couldn't come away with it.
Austin McCarl tried to make a dive down there in turn number 1, but couldn't make it stick. Hagar trying to lead those 3. He's in that 4th spot. Remember, this is the second car they've had to put together. He's been involved in 2 pretty big crashes at Knoxville in the last 2 weeks. And Derek Hagar now trying to rebound their momentum going into the Knoxville Nationals as Austin McCarl closing back in on Carson Macedo.
He caught a little bit of a rut there right in the middle of turn number 1, got the car upset and kind of hiked the left side up just a tick there, brought it back down. That allowed the 88 to close in. As checking on your leader, Xavier Doney for a second, 1.725 seconds to the good. But this battle still oh so good for the 5th spot. And again, it's points, not time, it's points that you're collecting here through these heat races combined with your qualifying points.
Well, what's so important in these heat races is a good start, and Xavier did a masterful job on that start, getting out on the field, and nobody's been able to reel him back in. But now that battle continues between Austin McCarl and Carson Macedo. Here comes McCarl down to the inside as they're racing in turn number 4. Macedo looking for the spot back off of 4.
Got it. Exit turn number 4, takes it up across the nose as the white flag is out in this one. Final trip around, and Xavier Doney has put his foot to the floor, and he hasn't lifted one time. Checker flag going to greet the Missouri racer rather. Xavier Doney, winner.
Oh boy, Hagar way out of shape off of 4, allows Austin McCarl to get by at the line. Hagar losing a spot there as he got way sideways coming off of turn number 4, allowed Austin McCarl to eke by on the outside. But Xavier Doney getting the win. Scott Boguski 2nd, Steven Snyder Jr. 3rd, McCarl 4th, Hagar 5th, Macedo, Thomas, Jeniton, and Brown.
Boy, Doney absolutely dominating here in Smith Titanium heat race at number 2. He's going to pull down, and again, the just plethora of products these guys get.
There's a front end sitting on the ground there right in front of Austin.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is right in my way here. This is perfect, though. How great is it, guys, to show up, and I'll ask Xavier the same question, how great is it to show up to a racetrack for the very first time, win a heat race, and win $3,700 worth of parts and equipment for doing so?
Yeah, it's super awesome to be here. It's a really fun track, in my opinion. I'm a fan of these fairground tracks, and to come here and be pretty good out the box and just kind of dialing it in just a little closer, not really taking huge swings at it. It's really cool, and for it to be at the Front Row Challenge and get a bunch of bonus for the heat race win, it's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Xavier Doney was absolutely on it in that heat race. And I'm going to echo something that he said, fellas. These fairgrounds tracks, the covered grandstand, the crowd that we've got tonight, when we get ready for this feature, I think you're going to be able to hear the stands over top the cars when we go 4 wide later on.
I wouldn't be surprised one bit. The fans like to get pretty excited here in Oskaloosa. Tasso Steakhouse, heat race number 3, next on the card. We'll line them up like this, starting on the pole from Altoona, Iowa. He drives the Jetco Blondie Motorsports last time exteriors, car number 27. It's Carson McCarl outside of the front row. From Gympie, Queensland, Australia, the Corbett Group, Ike's Performance, Precision Well Service, car number 25 of Jai Corbett. Row 2 on the inside, starting third. From Glenpool, Oklahoma, the Missile Motorsports, Reese Construction, Eaton Industrial Coatings, car number 95 is Matt Covington. And alongside of him, he picked up the Bull Haulers Brawl win at the Houston Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Driving the car number 45X from Tulsa, the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Tie, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV, car number 45X of Reese Moran. Your third row on the inside. From Northport, Florida, the Global Link Moxie Creative Products Group, car number 24D is Danny Sams, and to his outside, from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the All Your Alternative, CP Excavating, Raw Machinery, Joel Pigeon Trucking, Hample Oil, car number 10 of Ryan Timms. Brady Bacon lining up on the inside of row number 4. Brady drives the Dave.com Inland Rigging, car number 31, and to his outside in the car number 8 from El Paso, Texas, the RVB Transport entry of John Carney II. Garrett Benson will round out the field from Concordia, Missouri, in the 360 Civil KNC Drywall, car number 27B. These are the cars 8 laps in distance for Tasso's Steakhouse, heat race number 3. If you're feeling hungry but not sure what you want, we suggest going to Tasso's Steakhouse in Oskaloosa. Tasso's has a variety that will take care of whatever you're hungry for, and they're located on the west side of the square in downtown Oskaloosa. All right, Brian, here we go. Heat race number 3, 8 laps again the distance. As you mentioned, we're racing for points here. Finishing points combined with qualifying points will determine where they are in tonight's feature.
And that's the clarification. It's not passing points. We're going to make sure and say that. You're getting points, a set amount of points for your qualifying position, a set amount of points for your finishing position in the heat race, and that combined will determine if you go on to the A or whether you go on into B main competition. Around through the McKay Group start zone, onto the front straightaway. We get after it here in Tasso Steakhouse heat race number 3, and just like Prime Rib, they're going to slice their way into turns 1 and 2, and it will be the Aussie jumping out to the early advantage at 25.
Jai Corbett did a nice job of getting out on the field as you take a look now at Matt Covington up on the racetrack trying to close in on Reese Moran. Matt Covington in that car number 95, Reese Moran in the 45X. Reese got a big win at the Houston Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Now down the back straightaway, finds himself in the 3rd spot. Matt Covington running 4th, really not able to make a move, but here comes the Florida man. Danny Sams down to the inside. He's looking for position. That would be the 4th spot.
Trying to put the Gators chop around the bottom side of the Speedway on the 95. So far, Covington holds that spot, slips her up the racetrack, and that's all it takes. Florida man going to put his name in the headlines here. The Impact's 4800.com number 24. Going to roll by the inside line. He'll take the spot away. That's for the 4th spot. Corbett leading. McCarl, Moran, Sams, Covington. Right now, your top 5. Ryan Timms now in the hunt in the all-ball your alternative Hample Oil number 10 machine. Working onto the back straightaway. A pair of Okies on the screen right now into turns 3 and 4.
Timms on the bottom in that brightly colored orange and white number 10. Gets the move on Covington as they race off of 4 down into 1. We saw Ryan Timms with a little trouble last night at the Cappy. They did not have their Nationals motor in, as you highlighted earlier in the show here tonight, but he seems to have the car running pretty well here as he finds himself running 5th.
Trying to close in and see if he can get one more spot here from Danny Sams. Looking to the 24 down the front straightaway. Battle going on in front of them. The Rainbow Nut Butter number 45 of Reese Moran setting sights on Carson McCarl. The Jetco Blondie Motorsports entry has got company. It's not the kind you want here. It's like the cops knocking on the door. You better go and hide in the back bedroom because the 45 is there. He's looking for it here as they work into turns 1 and 2. Up top goes McCarl. Down to the bottom goes Reese Moran. Better run for the 27. Going to hold the position as we're into the closing laps. In fact, about to be 1 to go here in Tasso Steakhouse heat race number 3.
Jai Corbett is the race leader. McCarl in that 2nd spot with company from Reese Moran. Sams in the 3rd spot, or excuse me, in the 4th spot. Then Timms, Covington, Bacon, Benson, and Carney. Jai Corbett, a great run here to the checkers. He'll pick up a heat race win off of turn number 4. There you see Danny Sams holding back the charge from Ryan Timms as the checkered flag waves here on heat race number 3, Tasso Steakhouse, bringing you this heat race. There's a look at your winner, Jai Corbett. In the Corbett Group, car number 25 from Gympie, Queensland, Australia. Carson McCarl comes home 2nd. Reese Moran 3rd. Danny Sams 4th. And Ryan Timms is 5th.
Glanced over for just a second there as they took the white flag, and Corbett got my attention. He was over the cushion going into 1. I said, oh, man, he got high. I thought he was going to the wall there for a second.
Well, he did a nice job of hanging on to it, and he's down with Austin here on the front chute.
Yes, he absolutely did, fellas. That last lap got a little hairy for him. Jai, congratulations on the heat race win. It's definitely profitable to win a heat race here at the Front Row Challenge. The last two were won from the pole. You were on the outside and able to get that one. It seems like the track is really developing nicely for you guys.
Yeah, I don't know, a few little spots there, a little greasy, but yeah, I just had to try and just keep it clean and run consistent laps. And yeah, Carson, you got to watch him on the start because he's pretty good. So. Yeah, it was good to get the start and just get a nice lead. But I think we make a few changes here and there, probably free up a little bit. And I think, yeah, we're probably going to have a good shot later.
That's Jai Corbett winning tonight's heat race here. Again, just around $3,700 in prizes and contingencies to win a heat. And that's really a big deal for the Eikenberry 25 machine. It's great to see a good team, a good group of people paired up with a guy like Jai Corbett here.
Indeed, thank you very much. Craig Ford, heat race number 4. Craig Ford also providing the pace truck this evening as Levi Hillier at Burlington, Washington, the Skagit Speedway, Radine Racing number 26R, going to bring him down to the drop of the green flag. Riley Goodnow at Knoxville, Iowa, the Quality Striping, Schilling Excavating number 22, going to line up next to him. The one Taz, Tasker Phillips out of Pleasantville, Iowa, the I-80 Concrete Pro Diesel, Sears Telephone Company number 1 Taz, going to go from 3rd. From 4th, he's out of Enumclaw, Washington, driving the Curb Records, Kane Screen Print, Napa number 4, that is Casey Kane. 5th starting spot, the 24T, Christopher Traum out of Sanborn, Minnesota, driving the Tron Farm Joel Pinion Trucking number 24T. And outside of him, he's your 5-time and defending champion of the Front Row Challenge and the All Ball Your Alternative, Finley Farms, Vulcan Brothers at Trucking, FloRacing, JVI Group number 57, that is Kyle Larson. Next row for the inside, Austin Wood out of Sacramento, California, driving Lightfoot Automotive, Outlaw Wings Flying A, Kaiser number 2A. He'll go from 7th, and the 15J lining up next to him, the Low King by Custom Truck One Source. Stroll Farms at Briggs Transportation number 15J, Kate Higday out of Knoxville, Iowa. Final starter all the way from Bozeman, Montana, the Rock and R Bar Hyper Racing, Cole Schroeder Racing number 3. It's Cole Schroeder. That'll be your lineup for Craig Ford heat race number 4.
Great look at the Southern Iowa Speedway. What a beautiful facility this is. Old covered grandstands, Brian, you gotta love seeing that.
There is something to these fairground half miles and the way they race and the history and everything that they bring about. And, I look forward to going to the mile ovals we have coming up in Silver Crown competition. And champ cars on a dirt mile is something to behold.
All right, getting set to go. The field will be coming around to the McKay Group start zone. Heat race number 4 brought to you by Craig Ford goes to the green, and what a start for Levi Hillier. Here comes Riley Goodnow to the outside. Tasker Phillips to the inside, battling there for the 2nd spot. They're side by side down the back straightaway. A 3-car battle for the lead toward 3.
What a way to end out heat race competition. Up into 2nd goes the one Taz. He's searching around. He got in the dirty air, saw dance the car around, shot him up the racetrack. Opens the door for Goodnow down to the inside. My, oh my, again. Thought they were going to tap tires, but the Hoosiers go unscathed for the time being. Battle for the race lead. You see the car laid down, now switches grooves down to the bottom, not able to get the run. Hillier takes the line, slams the door, and he's going to run away, and he shows the way here as they come around to click off lap number 2.
Phillips still running in that 2nd spot there. Casey Kane making his march through the field alongside of Kyle Larson. Larson back there battling for position. He's 4th. Casey Kane is 3rd. Now Larson moves up into the 4th spot. He goes back to the top. Here comes Casey looking low, but Kyle Larson has found the high side of the racetrack and seems to be moving away as they roll down the back chute, and now we're under caution.
Schroeder coming to a stop here, and I believe that is in front of the McKay Group banner.
I believe you're right.
So if you're in need of insurance, look to your right. On point, see? Brand placement.
He did a good job there.
Find yourself in need. You're stuck on the side of the track. You don't know who to call.
Call McKay Group.
That's right.
For home, auto, business, farm, and life, or help with your retirement, all in one agency, that's what McKay Group is for. They can help protect what's important to you and your family's future. McKay Group has offices in Knoxville, Oskaloosa, and Pleasantville.
You sure we're still allowed to do this?
What's that?
You sure we're still allowed to do this?
Oh, this? That's what we're doing?
Oh,
no,
yeah.
Probably not. If anybody wises up to us being in here, we'll be out.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it looks like silence beneath the bonnet of the number 3 machine. They will get a 4-wheeler in behind him. I keep wanting to call it the Indy Power Sports four-wheeler because that's who our side-by-side and four-wheeler provider is in USAC, and I'm going, this is not there's wings on these cars.
That's right.
It messed me up earlier, too.
Levi Hillier, the race leader in that car number 26R team car to Justin Peck. He picked up a win on July the 21st in the Sprint Car Challenge Tour out on the West Coast in Coos Bay, Oregon. You ever been to Coos Bay, Oregon?
I have not. It's one of those, all the times we went up there for like Dirt Cup and the Brownfield Classic, never had a chance to go to Coos Bay.
Tasker Phillips right there in the second spot. Former track champion at the Knoxville Raceway. Of course, Kyle Larson, what more do we need to say about that guy? I thought it was interesting. He also has 3 Ultimate Challenge wins here. Remember when we ran without the wing on Tuesday night?
I mean, he's won in anything and everything. I'm pretty sure if there was a stick horse race, he'd probably have wins there. Coming around through the McKay Group start zone. We'll see if he's able to get the charge to the high side. Down to the bottom goes the one Taz. Got the run, looking for the race lead. He'll take it away from the 26 of Levi Hillier. Now Larson going to go up, and he's going to get his pound of flesh. Goes for the second spot on the high side. Got it. But now Tasker Phillips out front. And there are 4 laps to go, so halfway done in this one. And Larson trying to carry that momentum. He is picking up car links in a hurry on the back straightaway.
Tasker Phillips through 3 and 4 on the bottom. Kyle Larson taking a look. He'll set him up there off of turn number 4. Closing in down the front straightaway with a nose to tail. Tasker to the bottom. Kyle to the top of the racetrack. Makes a big run. Has a lot of momentum around the outside, and he takes the lead down the back straightaway. And boy, look at him go. Kyle Larson with the wick turned up and letting the kite string out here in the heat race.
Afterburners engaged. JVI grid number 57 could come around and lead with 2 to go. And Larson having to kind of climb his way up through the running order. Remember that qualifying inversion, putting him back a ways. In fact, having to come from the 6th spot. Oh, no!
Leader spinning. The left rear tire coming off of the car number 57.
Looked like maybe the axle broke.
I believe you're right. As he came around the second time, the wheel was folded under. It could be a bit of the axle right there just over the cushion. If you look just above the fence where the cushion meets the racing surface, Kyle Larson coming to a stop, the race leader under caution.
Replay coming up here on the FloRacing broadcast, and right as it looks
out
like
from him here all of a sudden.
At first I thought maybe he had caught a tire, but he wasn't even close. So yeah, the left rear axle just broke, and what an amazing job to keep that car upright, because he was just along for the ride. There was no way of controlling that. And the fact that it did not dig in and just go flipping wildly.
Yeah. Now, that could have been a piece of axle. It could have been the lug nut that's on there, the wheel nut that we saw flying up the racetrack there. But
wow,
nonetheless, I'm just trying to look to see if the center of the wheel is still there.
The bleeder was still there when they did that drone shot there for just a second. I don't know if we can go back to that. But the bleeder is still actually in the axle. So that was a piece from between the bird cage and the housing.
Right.
Man, oh man.
Wow, tough break for your race leader, Kyle Larson.
Another look coming up here on the broadcast as he made his way into turns 3 and 4. And again, you'll
slow it down right here. You'll see the wheel just, the axle clearly breaks right there because the wheel doesn't slide out. It just the top leans in.
And you can see the piece actually goes.
A couple of pieces flying up there.
There's pieces chasing him around the racetrack.
Tasker Phillips does a nice job of getting his car turned as to not pile into Kyle Larson.
That larger piece came out a little bit later. It finally kind of got spit out from the back of the car. Man, as it goes down the front straightaway, and we're really able to get a look at the rear end. The other side of that, again, not getting the car upside down, but the fact that the rear end seemed to stay stable enough in the car, because the concern there is that side-to-side movement. Your ankles are right there. Race fans, obviously, a wild turn of events here.
You can see right there, Brian, the axle's broke.
But give him a hand, putting on a show here. Paul is going to have his work cut out because there's no telling how much further damage could have been caused from the frame slamming into the ground.
But the good news is it's Paul Silva.
Yes.
So they'll have that. He and Trevor Canales will have that car put back together in no time flat. But now Tasker Phillips will assume the top spot in the car number 1 TZ. That's the I-80 Pro Diesel Dibblado entry. He will be the race leader. Casey Kane silently moved up into the 3rd spot, now finds himself 2nd. Levi Hillier will be 3rd. Christopher Traum, Riley Goodnow, Austin Wood, Kate Higday, and Schroeder.
man.
Long ways around there to get Kyle's car hauled off the racetrack there on the hook. There's a look at Cade Higday. Only the second night for Cade Higday in that car. As we mentioned, Casey Kane kind of silently making his way up into the top part of the field here. His best front row challenge was third here in 2000, this being his 10th appearance here at the Southern Iowa Speedway, Brian.
Looking for his 14th feature start of the season. Again, picked up the win up at Williams Grove back on May 8th. And again, remember, he was subbing in.
Right, for Anthony Macri.
And, of course, our well wishes and thoughts go out to Anthony Macri, just getting back in a car, coming back swinging, gets the King's Royal win, and then last night that very hard crash in Knoxville, broken clavicle.
Not good. It was a horrendous crash, a 3-car crash in turn number 1, and it was bad. So glad he's got a broken clavicle, but could have always been a lot worse. Could have re-injured some of his back injuries. And so getting ready to go. Just a pair of laps remain here in Craig Ford heat race number 4. Tasker Phillips will bring the field back to the McKay Group start zone as they pace their way through 3 and 4. Casey Kane looking on in the second spot. Tasker off of turn number 4. We're back to the green. Casey Kane right there. Levi Hillier trying to make something happen, but he's got company. Christopher Traum looking to the outside.
Going out of the front straightaway, so having to wait past that point in order to advance. Challenge going on behind your leaders as Traum and the 26 going to go at it here as they make the way into turns 3 and 4. Up front, though, it is Tasker Phillips in command.
Christopher Traum making a nice move there for position as the white flag's in the air. Final time down the back straightaway. Tasker Phillips looking for a heat race win here. Casey Kane a solid run to the second spot. Checkers are in the air. Picking up heat race number 4, it's Tasker Phillips. Casey Kane will come home in the second spot. Christopher Traum will get third. Levi Hillier 4th. Riley Goodnow in the 5th spot. Another $3,750 worth of cash and prizes going to Tasker Phillips, the winner of heat race number 4. Casey Kane 2nd, Christopher Traum 3rd, Levi Hillier, Riley Goodnow, Austin Wood, Cade Higday, Kyle Larson, and Cole Schroeder will round out the field here in Craig Ford heat race number 4. Tasker Phillips makes his way down front, Austin. Another good one.
Yeah, it absolutely was. The one Taz down here. We always joked when we were at Jackson years ago that he went to 1Z for a while, removing Taz from the numbers, subtracted 50 horsepower. He's got the Taz back, so he's got the horsepower back, and it paid off here for him in a heat race number 4, as we'll let him get the safety equipment off. You can hear us now. Tasker, that was one heck of a heat race. First, the battle with Levi Hillier was outstanding. Then Larson got you, and it looked like you broke an axle. Sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
Oh, yeah, anytime, especially this year. That was about as good as a feature win with us. We've been so off the pace in the 410 this year, but this motor was from Mom and Dad back on the NSL days, and then I-80 Concrete bought it, and it's doing the job tonight.
Here we go, Tasker Phillips with the NSL mention, doing the job here tonight in heat race number 4, guys.
A motor from the NSL days.
We're talking a few minutes ago.
That was a little bit ago.
Of course, the man in the stand here tonight, none other than Toby Cruz.
Crew going to work on Kyle's car. You see Paul Silva on the left. Trevor Canales, the guy that walked away there in the white hat. They'll be getting that car torn apart and put back together again. Boy, not something you see every day on Kyle's cars.
No, and it's interesting, and I'm trying to think back to even last night. Was there an incident or anything that possibly could have caused that? And, again, you're trying to predict a parts failure, and good luck. You have a better chance of predicting a flat going down the highway. But just the thankful part of that, again, the car staying upright the way it did, the rear end not moving around too much, and getting after the ankles of Kyle Larson. And part of that, of course, on the left side brake, the Jacobs ladder being on the right, that was able to stay intact and keep the rear end from
it holds it in place there so it doesn't go left and right to side to side.
Meanwhile, the Legion of Doom.
Our IMCA Race Saver heat races next on the card. The Oskaloosa True Value heat race number 1 for the Race Savers. Curtis Evans in car number 21 will line up on the pole. To his outside, the 9A of Hunter Hansen. Row 2 on the inside from Knoxville. It's the 41 of Jeff Wilkie, and to his outside in the 35L, that's Gage Weldon. Gage from Hinton, Iowa. John Lambert's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota in the car number 12L, and to his outside from California, Missouri, the 14 of Randy Martin, and the car number 45 rolling out next from Lincoln, Nebraska. That's Monty Ferreira. 6 laps is the distance here. All cars transferring on out of heat race number 1. So the field lining up side by side there. Curtis Evans in that car number 21 alongside of Hunter Hansen. Hunter from Lakefield, Minnesota.
So luckily limited display of the Region Earthworks caution. And of course the work area also brought to you by Region Earthworks here tonight. Craig Ford provided the pace truck. And of course the McKay Group, the title sponsor of the 31st running of the Front Row Challenge, presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport. Race Saver IMCA Sprint Cars on track. Heat race number 1 brought to you by Oskaloosa True Value Hardware into the McKay Group start zone. And, ooh, man, that car not taking off at all on the outside of the front row. Hansen, see if that one maybe gets called back here.
Curtis Evans, the car number 21, takes off to the lead down the back straightaway. As you see him start to sort out back in the pack, that's Jeff Wilkie in the car number 41, the 45 of Monty Ferreira. He started clear on the back of the field. He's passed a couple cars already, trying to make a move there for the 4th spot.
He was able to kind of really jockey around there when the outside didn't take off. But, man, here comes Randy Martin in the 14, working down to the bottom side of the Speedway. Goes to work on the 41 of Jeff Wilkie as he makes his way. Started 6th, trying to pick his way forward. Right now clears for the 4th spot as he works around onto the front straightaway.
Randy told me earlier this afternoon he's only raced about 6 times this year. Battle for position now. That's the battle for 2nd. Hansen in the 2nd spot. He's being challenged by Gage Weldon. Weldon in that 35L down to the inside. Hansen pulls that car down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to hold back the charge.
Seeing Randy already start to come into frame there for a second. Problems for the 9A. Remember, that car did not take off at the start, and now problems persist. Oh, my. Granson Construction number 9A going to roll slow and come to a stop over turn number 2 here in just a moment. So that will bring out the Region Earthworks caution.
The Region Earthworks caution coming out on the racetrack for the 9A of Hunter Hansen.
Talking about everything you get on the 410 side of things, the Race Saver's no different here.
This is another $3,700 worth of stuff for these guys.
Walker Engineering filters. You've got Sander Racing wheels. You've got certificate to the Dingus Lounge. It's the best thing on there. HRP certificate, Pit Pal certificate, and a set of armor seatbelts.
That's a pretty good prize right there.
Yes.
So just think about that. It's going to pay $2,000 to win tonight because of the generous donation of the second $1,000, but you win about $3,750 for winning a heat race here tonight.
Chuck and Larry transmission out of Des Moines.
Very
putting
good.
That extra $1,000 up.
So getting set to go here, Curtis Evans, the race leader. Gage Weldon running in the 2nd spot. Hunter Hansen, he was the issue there, bringing up the caution as we come back to the green flag. Evans bringing him back to the green. Randy Martin there in the 3rd spot. Closing in for 2nd down the back straightaway.
He had a really good entry into turn number 1, was able to carry some good momentum around to the back straightaway. Now, not able to quite time and clear Weldon as we focus on your leader for the time being here. The 21 and Curtis Evans is immediately started to put distance, 0.7 of a second already. Weldon, Martin, Wilkie, Ferreira right now, those are the top 5 here in heat race number 1 for your IMCA Race Saver Sprint Cars. Again, brought to you by Oskaloosa True Value Hardware. Coming around, white flag.
White flag, 1 lap to go here in heat race number 1, brought to you by Oskaloosa True Value Hardware. Of course, Oskaloosa True Value Hardware will be giving the Nailed It move of the night later on tonight. Curtis Evans brings it around. Brian, the checkered flag should be a waving.
Heat races in 305 competition, 6 laps, and the 21 leads them all. Curtis Evans, winner in Oskaloosa True Value Hardware heat race number 1. Gage Weldon in 2nd, Randy Martin in 3rd, Jeff Wilkie in 4th, Monty Ferreira in 5th, John Lamberts and Hunter Hansen. Unfortunately, problems relegates that driver to a 7th place finish. And Non,
he's back.
He's back. Kind of like many more. So Evans with the win at 21. Race fans, give him a hand. Weldon in that 2nd spot. Martin, Wilkie, Ferreira, Lamberts, Hansen rounds out your field unofficially. Ultra Shield Products heat race number 2.
And if you wanted more in this heat race, you're going to get more and more and more.
Didn't we make the comment where they're going to all be in the same heat race? And by golly, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Out of Des Moines, it's Logan Moore. Out of Des Moines, it's Mike Moore. And out of Des Moines, Lanny Moore.
More and more and more.
And many
Spots
more to
1,
come.
2, and 3 in this heat race.
Jake Greenwood going to line up at the 4th spot in the 43. Andrew Sullivan out of Arnolds Park, Iowa in the 91. Trevor Service out of Minnesota in the 10. And Adam Goulian, the Lincoln, Nebraska driver, the 91X, set to round out your field. Mike Moore in the 69 last year was 6th in this event. He was 10th in 2024 as well as 2023. 3rd here back in 2022. Best run, 2021 with a 2nd place finish. Logan going from the pole position. He was here last year, had a 4th place finish. Lanny, I thought it was actually his first time here. No, he was here last year, ran 16th.
All right. Quite a family deal right there. A father and his 2 identical twins.
And
pretty cool.
Only fitting outside of the number that the cars would also be identical. That's how they kept them apart when they were kids. They had a 6 and a 9. They just sewed it onto the shirt. You were born at 6, you were born at 9. Of course, we're making all this up.
Except the part that they are identical twins.
Yes,
that's
that
real.
part is true.
And Mike Moore really is their dad. All right, getting set to go here. Heat race number 2 brought to you by Ultra Shield Products.
And oh, by the way, who do they look just like? Dad.
Well, Logan looks like Laney, and Laney looks like Logan, so I don't know.
Something like that.
Because they are identical twins.
We need to go racing.
Here we go. We'll be saved by the green flag once again.
Into the McKay Group start zone. And we're green. More speed into turns 1 and 2, and might have more 3 wide. We definitely got side-by-side. The 6 going to jump out the early advantage. Logan going to lead the way. Mike going to run in that 2nd spot, and Lanny going to run in 3rd. For a moment here, he's got a driver squeaking by to the inside as they make their way around to the front straightaway. Man, Service had good speed in the back straightaway.
Trevor Service there taking a look as they race for the lead. Now here comes Mike Moore to the inside in car number 69. Battle down the back straightaway. Now, if you're Mike Moore, do you really beat your kid in the heat race, or what do you do here?
Yes.
You beat him?
You still assert dominance. I'm dad. You still got to outrun me, so let's get after it.
Mike Moore in the 2nd spot as his son Laney leads the way there. Service trying to close in there in the 3rd spot. So Logan Moore, the race leader. Mike Moore is 2nd. Trevor Service, Laney Moore, then Jake Greenwood, Gullion, and Sullivan.
Round to the front straightaway. Mike had a couple of good runs there, was able to make up some car links. Now they're kind of equaling speed here as they work onto the back straightaway. Halfway done here in heat race number 2. Again, brought to you by Ultra Shield Racing Products. Service, the drive he has at the exit turn number 2, he kind of missed it last time around, but he really had the line figured out that time. Trying to get up and close and get a pass on the 69. Closes right in on him. Takes it down to the inside. Got it. Mike up the racetrack and scrubbed off a lot of speed going into turn 1.
Well, with these race savers, it's all about momentum, keeping the revs up on the engine, keeping that car going, and now he's taking a look to the inside for the lead as they work off of turn number 4. Logan Moore, the race leader in car number 6. Here comes Trevor Service. The white flag is in the air. Service is running out of time here in heat race number 2.
This is where wing speed is so crucial, and it's hard to get with the 305s, but, I mean, they're doing a great job at the front of the field. A little battle going on a little bit further back here as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. Checker flag going to fly here in heat race number 2. It will be the 6 of Logan Moore, who picks up the win. A 2nd going to Service, Mike Moore, Jake Greenwood, Laney Moore, had Adam Goulian absolutely breathing down his neck. In fact, they were side by side for a moment. It's going to be the 9 over the 91X with Andrew Sullivan unofficially rounding out your field. Winner of that one at 6. Race fans, give him a hand. Logan Moore. Service in 2nd. Mike Moore, then Greenwood, and Laney Moore, then Goulian, then Sullivan rounding out your field. As with that, they'll make their way down into the pit area. Here on the FloRacing broadcast, we're going to take a break. We'll be back.
Means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people, real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
Since 1979, Country Builders Construction has provided wood framing services to property developers in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. Quality work, a professional reputation, problem solving, craftsmanship, and performance is the foundation of our accomplishments. It's the way we do business. We are proud of the good name we have built in this competitive business. We have done so by delivering on our promises and rising to meet all challenges. Our motto says it all: superior structural integrity with trophy-winning speed.
BR Motorsports. Built for champions, feared by the competition. For over 30 years, the fastest racers on America's dirt tracks have trusted one name to keep them unbeatable: BR Motorsports. When you're chasing victory, you don't have time for excuses. You need same-day shipping, real tech support, and a crew that actually knows racing. Champions don't gamble. Champions choose BR Motorsports.
Late nights at the track, hot days in the sun. When the race drains you, refuel with horsepower hydration. Electrolytes engineered to keep you sharp, steady, focused. Because whether you're behind the wheel or in the stands, racing takes everything you've got. Hydration, engineered for speed. Made by racing fans, for racing fans. Stay sharp, stay steady, get back into the race. Horsepower hydration.
At McKay Group, we care. Beyond your coverage. That means we show up. Your insurance isn't a call center, it's your neighbor down the road. Someone you can rely on to be there, at your farm, at the track on race night, wherever you need us. No 1-800 number, no hold times. First place coverage from an agency that knows you firsthand. Real people. Real passion. Find out more at carebeyondcoverage.com.
Welcome back to the Front Row Challenge here at the Southern Iowa Speedway. Getting ready for the foot race here on the front straightaway coming up in just a moment. Race fans also coming up on August 26th here at the Southern Iowa Speedway. For the first time ever, the World of Outlaw late models will be in action here on the half mile at the Southern Iowa Speedway. The Oski Hobby Stocks and Oski Stock Cars will also be in action. You can get your tickets by going to my Race Pass or on the World of Outlaw late model site. For the first time ever, let's go to Austin Lloyd. They got a foot race in front of you, Austin.
And look at the crowd we've got down here. This is unbelievable. Parker, you said earlier, you said quick time. You kind of wanted to sub for this. Are we feeling better now?
Since everyone else has to run too, it out. I know Carson's been hurt. I've had radiation on my leg. Austin's 8 foot tall. So yeah, it all equals out.
Carson, you've competed this in a couple of different times. Is the experience mean anything on a foot race?
I don't think so. I sat out last year. Phillip subbed in because I was coming off a broken leg. So been doing a lot of rehab. I sound like an old guy. Hopefully I got the speed to get her done.
And the youth in the crowd here, Christopher Traum, is that an advantage? You don't look like an athlete, Chris. Were you an athlete?
No.
Yeah, I didn't figure. What do you figure you got a shot here?
I don't think it's a very good shot. If I could have a sub, my sister'd be pretty good at this. She's the runner of the family. I'm not.
There we go. And James McFadden, doing it for the guys with beards, James. You got to do it for us.
Yeah, if I knew I was going to run, I'd probably shave down like Michael Phelps or something, but we'll see how we go.
There we go. So we have got 4 ready to go. We'll do this in 2 flights. Flight 1 ready to go. Toby Cruz has the green flag. When it drops, we'll start. There it is. Green's out. And we're running down the front straightaway. Who's got it? Who's got it at the line?
I feel like there may have been interference from the camera.
I'm getting told, Matthew's telling me Carson Macedo picked up the win.
That's what I was going to say.
And then we need to figure out who second was, too, because the top 2 will come back. Who was second, Matthew? Parker Price Miller was second. So PPM and Macedo advanced to the final round. I saw we had youth in the last one. This is the youth one here. Corey, what are we going to do here?
Hopefully win.
Hopefully win, says Corey. It's this is your first foot race, isn't it? What's the key to the foot race, especially when you got a guy with, like we said, 8 foot long legs next to you?
Man, growing up in Florida, we learned how to run in zigzags, run away from gators. So I don't know how we'll do going straight here. We'll see.
That was the perfect answer, Austin. Family pride, right? I mean, your dad runs the event. You're the athlete. You played a lot of basketball. Do you have the speed?
I don't know. I got called for jumping a couple years ago, so as long as we avoid that, I think we'll be okay.
Toby, don't call him for jumping. Ryan, you've won everything else this year. You won nationals last year. Did you think that you'd be in a foot race in a sprint car fire suit?
Absolutely not. It's my first time, so.
First time for Ryan Timms. He still sounds tired. He always sounds tired. But the next 4 are ready to go. The top 2 will move on to tonight's main event in the foot race. We're off. This is close, guys. This is close. I don't know. Timms and Danny Sams. Whoever is in the blue, says Matthew. So the official word from the 11-year-old official down here is Timms and Sams. Make it.
That was the most Florida man
The perfect Florida man answer. I can't believe that we got that.
Guy in the blue.
The guy in the blue, says Matthew. I thought he watched sprint cars. I'm disappointed in my 11.
We're trying to see if there's any gators on the racetrack to propel his speed.
We got Ryan Timms. This is a professional move from the young guy, signing autographs as an excuse to catch his breath as he walks back. That's a professional move from the young guy. You made the final round. You had more faith in yourself.
Yeah, I know. You just gotta be discreet about it.
We tried to jump earlier. Can you jump on a guy like Toby Cruz? He's done every job at a racetrack. He's been a flagman for a long time. Can you jump on Toby?
I don't think I jumped. Are you saying I jumped?
No, I'm saying there was talk of jumping in the second heat.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's tough. I think you got a lot of eyes on the starting line here. It's tough to jump.
This is an incredible crowd for a foot. This is unbelievable.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love this race. It's once a year, and everyone comes out. I've always wanted to be in the foot race, so off the bucket list.
Ryan, professional move, signing autographs on the way back so you can catch your breath. Tell me about that.
Yeah, the kid at Sharpie wanted me to sign a shirt, so it's cool.
Yeah, he's playing it cool here. He's playing it cool here. So what we're gonna do here, we're lining them up, making sure they're on the line. This is the final round. Race fans, let them hear ya. Oh, Macedo with a great jump. Carson, did he get? Oh, did Sams get him at the end? Unbelievable race. I'm getting the shrug from all the officials over here. We don't know. What do we got here?
I keep saying we tie a transponder to their ankles.
Right.
And make them, because the loop is right there.
We're going to get a replay here because this is important. This is the Priority Aviation Driver Foot Race that pays $1,500 to win, Austin.
$1,500 on the line. What's the call, Toby?
I think we had a little jump there. We're going to rerun that one.
Toby Cruz says they jumped. We're going to do it one more time. $1,500 on the line from Priority Aviation. Sam's taking his time. Called a lot of races, never a track meet. There we go, green's out. Oh, we got one down. Sam's is down. He'll start fourth.
Should have had a siren behind him. He wouldn't have fallen.
I'm getting told, and we'll make sure we're right here. PPM third, Macedo second, and Ryan Timms will start on the pole.
And $1,500 to start on the pole of the Priority Aviation Foot Race winner.
We got to tell you what, Ryan Timms, unbelievable job. You've won everything there is to win. Now you've won a foot race worth $1,500.
This is going above his head.
It's going above his bed, he says. So Ryan Timms wins the Priority Aviation Foot Race here. And I'm telling you what, guys, this is no exaggeration. The crowd on this front stretch is unbelievable. This was almost the highlight. When you go show up here, there's tons of fans in the infield. Everybody's excited for this. And you walk around the infield, and people are as excited or more excited for the foot race than they are for the A-Main coming up later on. It's really a cool atmosphere down here.
We got one guy so excited he's juggling. We're checking that out on the broadcast down in front of the grandstands. Crowd's going to make their way back into the infield with that. We're going to take a break here on the FloRacing broadcast. We'll be back to Oski.
Welcome back to the Southern Iowa Speedway as we get ready for B-Main action. To our viewers watching on FloRacing 24/7, thanks for tuning in. For even more racing action, stream FloRacing anytime on the Flo Sports app. Well, Brian, B-Mains are next on the docket here for us tonight. What a great night we've had so far.
So far, it has been absolutely amazing. Also, don't forget the 50-50, $4,500.
Wow.
Is what the winner's share is up to right now. So again, they're making their way around the grandstands. Make sure and get that. The QR code, again, is posted around the grounds. So if that does make it onto social, as long as you're inside the state of Iowa, you are able to play along. But they'll be drawn for that between the main events.
Of course, tonight is brought to you by the McKay Group and Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport. Wouldn't it be great if you could have your insurance for auto, home, business, farm, and life, or help with retirement in just one agency? Well, that's what the McKay Group is for. They can help protect what's important to you and your family's future. McKay Group has offices in Knoxville, Oskaloosa, and now in Pleasantville.
I just need an office in Oklahoma.
Well, I'm sure they would insure you. Todd Chambers would happily talk to you about insuring you.
What's the website?
carebeyondcoverage.com.
And that's one of those things that's kind of like buying more toothpicks for the kitchen. You don't really think about insurance until
you need it.
Just had a round of that with my homeowner's insurance, and we got Gorilla Hail, and it killed the roof and totaled my wife's car and having to deal with that. So, yeah, definitely something to pay attention to. There's your life advice there.
Boy, getting deep all of a sudden.
B feature brought to you by Hebner Racing Products. 12 times around. Top four going to advance on out of this. Darren Knight out of Adrian, Michigan, the 2MD, and Matt Covington at Wimpole, Oklahoma, in row number 1 of the 95. Riley Goodnow to Knoxville, Iowa, the 22, and Levi Hillier in the 26R to Burlington, Washington, in row number 2. Row 3, Cam Martin in the 4M out of Ankeny, Iowa, and Austin Wood at Sacramento, California, driving the number 2A from 6. From 7th, Kel Thomas in the 31. His teammate Brady Bacon, BoltTheDave.com entry, is going to go from the 4th row. Bacon out of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Out of Knoxville, Cade Higday going for the 9th starting spot, and Ayrton Genitin, Gravois Mills, Missouri, in the 3A, going to line up in 10th. Jamie Ball from 11th out of Knoxville, and Dylan Bloomfield out of Oakley, California, the 11th and 12th starters. John Carter, the 2nd out of the West Texas town of El Paso, going from 13th out of Concordia, Missouri. The 27B is going to be Garrett Benson. Ben Brown out of Marshall, Missouri, the 7B from 15th. Cole Schroeder out of Bozeman, Montana, from 16th. And we'll see if they're able to get the car repaired. Gage Polkerbeck out of Minnesota, the G5, slated to round out your field.
Did you quote a song lyric right there from the West Texas town?
As a matter of fact, you know it.
I can't believe I knew that, but
growing up in Las Cruces, kind of grew up around that song. El Paso being about 40 minutes directly south.
Don't forget tonight, Brian, the highest finishing Australian will get $1,000 from Camden Signs. The highest finishing PA Posse member gets $1,000 from Hoseheads and J&S Classics. The highest finishing Knoxville regular will get $500 from Midwest Golf Carts. The top 3 highest finishing Knoxville regulars will get 1 free Hoosier tire from Knoxville Raceway. Highest finishing Minnesota driver gets $500 from Gilland Enterprises and Justice Brothers. Lots of money. Lots of prizes.
Highest finishing IRA driver, 60% off a set of wings from Hebner Racing Products. Top 8 finishers receive a box of Insight Terros from Ultra Shield Products. The McGrath Enterprises Mechanic of the Race, that Snap-on 3/8 Impact set. The Durst Incorporated Hard Charger, $1,000 cash, and a KSC Power Steering Pump. Willwood Hard Luck Award, the complete car kit worth $3,626. Other giveaways, of course, a set of Schoenfeld headers to each of our Divisions 2. You also got Pro Shocks. We even got a special note at the bottom.
Yeah. Wow. You know, you think about the people that have pulled this all together, but, you know, Jennifer and Richard Marshall at Priority Aviation, they do so much for this event. And how about Phil Durst and the Durst family? They are constantly supporting sprint car racing across the gamut. They sponsor so many things, drivers, events, teams. Phil Durst and his family, just really great supporters of sprint car racing.
Of course, I want to thank everybody for making the way into the grandstands. Also want to welcome and thank everybody for tuning in here on the FloRacing broadcast. Got Matt Streeter out in California, John Levesque checking in. Joe Duvall giving me a little bit of a nugget here. I forgot about this. We had, Reese Moran putting on a great show earlier. He won one of the micro division races, the very first U.S. MTS race that he put on at Creek County. That was a long time ago.
Wow, that is a long time ago. So getting ready to go here. Don't forget, race fans, as we mentioned, the first time ever, the World of Outlaw late models here at the Southern Iowa Speedway on August 26th, along with the Oskaloosa Hobby Stocks and the Southern Iowa Speedway stock cars. You can get your tickets by going to My Race Pass or on the World of Outlaw site. So that's going to be a big one here. First time ever at the Southern Iowa Speedway.
Also want to welcome onto the broadcast Kyle Ezell, the whole crew down at Lawton Speedway. We continue to think about you, and of course in the passing of Marcy, we continue to hold you in our thoughts and prayers. We're glad you guys are able to tune in and find some comfort in racing as we get ready to go to green. B feature competition 12 times around is brought to you by Hebner Racing Products. Top 4 going to move on. NIDA brings them around to the McKay Group start zone, and we're underway. Oh, look out, Cam Martin, all kinds of sideways there on the start, gets it back underneath him, and we're underway.
Boy, look at him go, too. He's got a nice run to the outside now. Martin moves up into the second spot. NIDA got a great start. Here comes Cam Martin. Boy, look at him go. Big move to the inside like a bullet out of a gun. He takes the lead and leads lap 1.
Boy, he rifles his way up into the top spot here. NIDA going to fall back to second. Cale Thomas, Riley Goodnow right now. They occupy transfer spots, but the final transfer spot, that has been taken by the Macho Man. Brady Bacon taking the Dave.com Bioma Motorsports number 31 up into the 4th spot. Now going to work on the 2 of NIDA on the outside. Here comes Bacon and Thomas now. Goodnow still right there in the mix. Bacon, excuse me, the driver right now on the outside looking in. We said we were going to mix those up. There it is. I got it.
So easy to do. Brady Bacon 1 spot out of a transfer. Only the top 4 moving on. It's Martin, NIDA, Thomas, and Goodnow in transfer positions. Riley Goodnow in that 22 car. Then there's Brady Bacon right there. And then identical Dave.com car number 31. Brady Bacon. Then Levi Hillier behind him. Wood, Jennington, Benson, and Bloomfield round out the top 10.
Cam Martin nearly 2 seconds to the good. He was 1.8 seconds. Now is 2 seconds over. 2.303 between himself and Cale Thomas. Darren NIDA, Riley Goodnow still holding on to the transfer spot. A couple of battles going a little bit further back in the pack, but everybody's starting to really kind of single out here in your Hebner Racing Products B main event. Again, 12 laps of distance, and those laps are starting to click by, coming up on the midpoint here in this B main.
Levi Hillier had a charge from Ayrton Jennington there back in the field. Levi was in 6th. Jennington there up into the 7th spot, but there's a look at your leader. Nobody has anything for Cam Martin. Boy, he had a great start, went to the outside, took the lead on the first lap, and has not looked back here in this B main. They'll be coming around with 5 to go.
Trying to race into his 28th A-feature appearance of the 2026 season. Remember, got the win at the Lee County Speedway back in the month of May. Has a dozen top 5s and 16 top 10s across the board. Makes his way onto the far side of the speedway. That gap continuing to open over 4 seconds right now as Bacon has finally reeled in Goodnow, got right up on there, missed the line a little bit, saw the car get up over the cushion just a tick, had to fight it back onto the racetrack. Goodnow able to get that J&J Auto Racing number 22 back out in front of the Macho Man.
Well, the Macho Man trying to improve his finish. His best finish here was a 21st, and looking for a better finish here tonight, though he didn't want to go through the B.
Right now, unfortunately, that's exactly where he is. Leader going to come up on traffic. Working by the 15 of Higday onto the back straightaway. Higday being shown in the 14th position as we get down to the closing laps. In fact, 2 to go this time as he works off a turn at number 4. Jamie Ball right in front of him. So the 4 chasing another one here as they work off into turns 1 and 2. White flag coming this time here in B main competition.
Cam Martin finished 3rd here with the Sprint Invaders earlier this season back in July. Looking to the inside of the lap car, Jamie Ball now as they work off at turn number 4. Should be the white flag of fly-in for your leader, Cam Martin.
Looked high, duck low as they make their way into turns 1 and 2. He'll come away and get by Jamie Ball in the back straightway. Again, 4 drivers going to move on as he makes his way into turns 3 and 4. Tony, he absolutely dominates here in B feature competition. A little bit of a bobble there.
Off of turn number 4, checkered flag goes to Cam Martin, picking up tonight's HRP B feature. He gets the win. Thomas coming home in the 2nd spot. A good run for him as well, but you're right, Brian. What a dominating run here tonight by Cam Martin. Wasted no time getting up into the lead. Martin gets the win. Thomas is 2nd, NIDA 3rd. Riley Goodnow comes home 4th. Those 4 cars will transfer on into tonight's Front Row Challenge Championship feature. Brady Bacon, Levi Hillier, Ayrton Jennington, Austin Wood, Garrett Benson, and Dylan Bloomfield will round out the field. 5 through 10 will be done for the night.
last chance to get your 50-50 tickets. Again, that will be drawn between the feature events. So it's your last chance to get those 50-50 tickets. The pot was over $4,500 for the winner's share. And that was probably about 25 minutes ago when we got that.
So that will do it for our B main here for the 410 cars. Our IMCA Race Saver feature coming up next. We're going to take a quick break here on Flow, and when we come back, it's feature time here at the 31st Front Row Challenge. McKay Group Front Row Challenge presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transportation. Brian, it is feature time as the IMCA Race Savers are next on the card for their feature action here tonight.
15 laps the distance for your IMCA Race Saver sprint cars. Engage Weldon, the 35L at Hinton, Iowa, going to be the driver on the pole. Trevor Service out of Minnesota in the 10, going to line up to his outside. Jeff Wilkie out of Knoxville, Iowa, the 41, going to line up in third. And Mike Moore for the fourth starting spot out of Des Moines in the number 69. Jake Greenwood at Woodward, Iowa, the 43, going to line up in fifth. From sixth, it'll be Logan Moore. He's out of Des Moines. Monty Ferreira, the 45, at Lincoln, Nebraska, to line up at the 7th and 8th. Hunter Henson, Lakeville, Minnesota, the 9A. Laney Moore in the 9 from 9th, and Adam Goulian, the 91X from 10th at Lincoln, Nebraska. Andrew Sullivan in the 91 from 11th, and Curtis Evans in the 21 can line up in 12th. Randy Martin from 13th in the 14, and John Lamberts from the 14 starting position in the 12L. And, of course, Logan Moore in the 6 starts 6, and Laney Moore in the 9 starts 9th.
How about that? They better, well, they're not old enough to buy lottery tickets.
No. But if you are old enough to play in the 50-50, must be 18 years or older to participate. Void where prohibited. And again, that is benefiting the Steve King Foundation. Marshalltown tomorrow, 360s on the card. That'll be here live on FloRacing. Of course, the granddaddy of them all, the NOS Energy Knoxville Nationals, powered by Casey's. That is on Dirt Vision for those of you that cannot make your way here to Iowa. That'll be how you can follow along there. USAC action this weekend, the NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship, Coles County on Friday and Saturday, and Jacksonville on Sunday. 410 winged sprint cars added to the program along with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Silver Crown, and of course, the Smackdown at Kokomo coming up as well. High Limit Racing, they're going to be heading off to California once we wrap things up here in the state of Iowa. You talked about it earlier. Outlaw late models coming to Oski.
Yeah, how about that? August the 26th, for the first time ever. It's hard for me to believe that, but the first time ever, the Outlaw late models will be here, plus the hobby stocks and the stock cars. Wonder if I could get somebody to let me dust off my hobby stock skills and
do it.
Wouldn't that be something? It's been
that
a long time since
fantastic.
I had the old red 24 here on the racetrack, Brian.
Another race to look forward to, the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. They're down at Batesville for the Ace Doran Topless 100. That's a big one.
That is a big one.
That's going to be coming up this weekend. So that's one of the great events you can find on FloRacing as well. Let's see, when are the All-Stars racing again? Check out the old All-Star Circuit of Champions. Great to see that series back in swing. Next event, I-96 up in Michigan. That'll be on the 21st. And just like that, we've got their schedule. Butler on the 22nd. We've got Freedom Motorsports Park on the 28th. Sharon Speedway on the 29th. Attica on the 4th. Can they do the same thing for the late model series? Let's find out. Jeff is pretty good in there. Kane's, he's pretty solid. Can we get a schedule behind door number 2? No.
Our good buddy Rex Lejeune is here from Attica. How about the Lucas Oil late models coming up to Topless 100 at Batesville on August 14 through 15. Rumble by the River at Port Royal, the Speed Palace, the August the 28th and 29th. The late model Knoxville Nationals will be back at the Knoxville Raceway September 17 through 19, and then the 47th annual Jackson 100 at Brownstown Speedway September 25 and 26, and the 38th annual Pittsburgher at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway October 2 through 3. 2 through 3 or 2 and 3, however you want to say.
Second and third.
Yes.
Something like that. It's in October.
I was actually thinking it was 3 days, and so I was preparing my mind to say 2 through something.
And of course, you know, we're focusing on a couple different series. It's a mix. It's an absolute mosh podge of stuff that's going on.
More.
NASCAR Regional Berlin Raceway going to be coming up here in just a couple of days. Of course, got the King of Coals with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. The Mars Late Model is going to be at LaSalle. You got the Captain of the Creek. And at 141, I'm sorry, but...
Well, I'll tell you what. On August 14 and 15, if you can't find something to watch, you're not trying.
No, you are not.
There is a lot of stuff racing on Flow August 14 and 15.
And if you're still looking for something to watch on the 16th, you got Jacksonville. You got sprint cars and midgets. USAC midgets and Wing 410 sprint cars. I am so excited for that.
It's going to be cool. But you know what else is going to be cool? This feature.
That's
coming
right.
up right here.
Race Saver IMCA sprint cars on track again. Gage Weldon in the 35.
Trevor Service to his outside.
Boy, Trevor had some speed in his heat race.
Yeah, he got her. Once he got her wound up, he was pretty hard to hold back.
We talk about it is opening night format for IMCA, so there is a huge inversion involved. It's like a 10-car inversion when it comes to these opening night formats for IMCA. So that's where you see, looking back, going, man, this guy did really good in his heat race. Well, he's going to have to fight his way forward here. So Weldon and Service, Wilkie and Moore, Greenwood another more, Ferreira Hansen a little bit more, Goulian, Sullivan, Evans, Martin, and Lamberts.
Hey, race fans, just a reminder, after the races tonight, the South Gate and Green Street Gate will be open for you to get out of the fairgrounds. So the South Gate and the Green Street Gate will be open after the races tonight. If you're sitting in the grandstands, you're facing north right now. So the South Gate behind you will get you out of here. And the 50-50 drawing is after this A main. 4850.
It's grown a little bit. I like it. So one to go, shown to the field, the Craig Ford pace truck.
Huge crowd in the infield here tonight too, Brian.
Things you love to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the field is ready to go here in Race Saver competition. So you can fight their way from the back of the field. Who's going to hold on? Remember now, it is $2,000 to win. Into the McKay Group start zone. Into turn 3 out of turn number 4. They'll find the chalk line. We're underway. 15 laps of distance here in Race Saver competition.
Boy, there was cars up in the front ends up in the air there on that start, getting over some wheels there. Everybody was close quarters. Trevor Service to the outside now down the back straightaway. Gage Weldon in that second spot, but look at Service. We talked about him. Once he got the momentum going earlier, he was pretty hard to hold back, and he looks like he's got the momentum figured out here in the start of this feature.
Came back for the first time since 2022 last year. Ended up with a second place finish. We'll see if he can improve that by just one more here. Takes her onto the back straightaway with the lead into turns 3 and 4. Battle going on a little bit further back here. 91 going to duck down to the inside and see if he can get some room to run here as they work around onto the front straightaway. Yes, he does. Oh, man, Wilkie, he was all kinds of sideways in 41 there as they exited turn number 4. That's going to cost him a little bit. In fact, the 43 of Jake Greenwood is able to make his way by, but the 91 of Andrew Sullivan was one making those really good moves, able to get by the 9 of Moore as they worked off of turn number 2 and onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, Sullivan went up into the 5th spot there once he got by Laney Moore, as Mike Moore in the car number 69 in the 3rd spot now, beginning to close in on Gage Weldon in 2nd. Keep your eye on Mike Moore. Mike has been racing for well over 25 years. Used to race at the Knoxville Raceway in the 360 division, raced at the Iowa State Fair Speedway in Des Moines, and boy, he's got his 305 going pretty well here. He's chipping away at him, Brian, as he's trying to run down the 2nd spot.
Lost a little bit of ground there at the exit turn number 2. His entrance speed really good. He was able to make up a couple of car lengths, but from the middle off, that's where Weldon seems to have the advantage right now, as Trevor Service out in front of this one and opening up that lead. His advantage 5.039 seconds. Weldon, Moore, Sullivan, Moore, and oh man, looks like Logan dropping back quite a bit there. The
Jake
43
Greenwood coming here, looking to the outside of Andrew Sullivan. That'll be the race for the 4th spot, Brian. Didn't mean to jump on you there.
No, you're good. Greenwood making some really good moves here, keeping that momentum up on the outside. You see a few drivers able to work the bottom and try to kind of move their line around. But the 43, he's just been engaged up on the outside line this entire time, trying to, again, to your point earlier, keep his momentum and keep the RPMs up and trying to make his way forward. As we look a little bit further back in the field, Randy Martin trying to make his way through, and the 12 pacing them right now. That's Lamberts. He's up into the top 10. Oh, man, Ferreira thought he was going to catch a left rear there for a second.
Randy Martin down to the inside of Ferreira as they race down into turn number 1. Randy Martin getting 2 for 1 there. That should put him up into the top 10 now as he gets by Moore. The next car he'll battle. Oh, Moore off the pace there down the back straightaway in car number 6. That's Logan Moore. He's able to get the car off the racetrack. We stay green with 7 to run. Trevor Service still the race leader. Gage Weldon running 2nd. Mike Moore is 3rd. Greenwood in the 4th spot. That's Jake Greenwood in car number 43.
So as we stay under green, not a chance to go into that Rengen Earthworks work area. So unfortunately, that will spell the end of the night for Logan Moore. In the meantime, your leader coming up on the 45 of Ferreira to put him a lap down. The 45 machine being shown in the 11th position right now.
I was just going to say, he's lapping up to 11th already. And looks like he's not done.
Yeah, he is absolutely sawing on that wheel. Just getting after it here as he works onto the back straightaway, doing everything he can again, just trying to keep the car straight, trying to keep the momentum up. And he gets up there, gets a little bit dirty air. Man, he has to adjust course down the front straightaway, trying to go to the bottom. That line was blocked as well. His advantage, though, is well enough at this point. Weldon not able to capitalize one bit. He trails by nearly 7 seconds as they're going to come around to 3 to go.
Well, your leader now, Service, is lapping up into the 7th spot. The next car he'll encounter will be Laney Moore, I believe, in car number 9 as they race off into turn number 1. Boy, that car is good. He is fast. He is sawing at the wheel, but he's keeping that momentum going. He's kept that car out front, and nobody's been able to challenge him thus far with just a pair of laps to go this time by. Tip of the green will be 2 to go here in the Race Saver feature.
And it's interesting to look at how the Race Savers are today versus even 10 and 15 years ago in the RPMs and how they're able to, because remember, these have very little lift, and I swear the seat pressure on the valve spring is about as good as my ballpoint pen. It's about 120 pounds. So, but the way they're able to build them now and get the camming and everything right, they're really able to get the RPMs up so they can have that momentum here as he works around. White flag is out.
Battle for second going on right now as well. Jake Greenwood has got by and looking for, now it's the battle for 3rd. I'm sorry, Jake Greenwood moved around Mike Moore there for that 3rd spot.
But off into turns 3 and 4, checkered flag is going to come out, and Trevor Service narrowly gets between a lap car and the wall, comes around to collect $2,000. The double checkered flags in the air for Toby Cruz. Puts a bow on top of this one. Gage Weldon in 2nd, Jake Greenwood in 3rd, Mike Moore in 4th, John Lamberts in 5th, Andrew Sullivan in 6th, Laney Moore in 7th, Randy Martin, Jeff Wilkie, and Adam Goulian. Unofficially rounding out your top 10.
So don't forget, race fans, after this victory lane, Austin Lloyd will be down there to draw the 50-50. But there's a look at your winner, Service, and he's pumped. Look at him, Brian. He's excited. He's just realized he wins $2,000 here tonight instead of $1,000.
Came down for $1,000 and got a little extra gas money.
Yeah. They're going to eat Taco John's on the way home tonight.
If they still had the dollar menu, he'd be the first in line. That'll buy him a couple cans of Nostio.
It will. Absolutely. Well, he'll be excited. That was a great run for him. A powerful feature win here tonight, and Austin Lloyd will hear from him down in Victory Lane.
Yeah, and he's going to be fired up, guys. This is a guy just last year got his first 410 win at Huset's. This year hasn't gone that way for him here so far in 2026. He's back in the IMCA Race Savers Sprint Car. And he's going to be fired up to win this after 2nd last year. He's on the tail tank. He's going up top. Let him hear you, race fans. Trevor Service. Did an absolutely outstanding job. Absolutely dominated the field, did Trevor Service here tonight. And like I said, he got 2nd in this race last year. He's been looking forward to this one all year. And to be able to come out on top, especially in the way he did, man, this kid's going to be fired up. really good guy, second-generation driver from Olivia, Minnesota. Gary Service, his dad, used to race around Jackson, Arlington, and that kind of area. Now Trevor's out here doing it as well. Again, the 410 year has not gone the way he's envisioned. He's back in the IMCA Race Saver, and this is going to be just cathartic for the guy. It's going to be awesome. He's around the car now, race fans. He's got the safety equipment off. One more time, let him hear you. It's Trevor Service. Tell you what, Trevor, second here last year. You've been gaining speed in this IMCA Race Saver sprint car all season long, and now tonight it really comes together. A 7-second win for what you thought was $1,000, but thanks to Chuck and Larry's transmission, a $2,000 victory here in Oskaloosa.
I knew the only two people who would give me a chance is Gage Weldon and Gillian, but didn't know how fast we were, but I had a feeling we were setting a pretty tired pace because the car felt really good. So.
This event is just unbelievable. This grandstand, the big My Race Pass Cup trophy that you've got, the $2,000 check, to see this continue to grow, and for you to be able to come out here and come out on top of this, you got to be so proud of not just yourself, but the whole team behind this 10 car.
Well, this year we don't have much of a team. We got a couple people, and I'm grateful for them all, and all my sponsors and my wife and daughter at home, and Neil, the car owner, and just everybody who plays a part in my racing career. We've been coming here since 2015, and the worst I finished was third, and it's all been second or third, and I wanted to win this bad. So
this is coming into a time of year where you guys have a lot of big races to prepare for in the IMCA sprint cars. How nice is it to get a win now and kind of be at your best going into this end of the season?
We've been slow all the beginning of the year and been picking up speed, been changing stuff constantly, and been trying these new Race Saver tires and just trying everything that we could throw the book at it. So it's been a struggle this year. I definitely haven't been winning as much as normal, but this one feels good. So,
yeah, we saw your kid showing his toy cars to Kyle Larson earlier. He's pumped. Trevor's pumped. This is a great crowd here tonight. There's stuff being thrown at you, so get up and make some noise from Trevor, and get up and make some noise if you want a prize down here on the front straightaway as well. And race fans, we do have the 50-50 drawing happening now right now as well. So if you've got a 50-50 ticket, get your numbers out. It is $4,850. So thank you tonight for purchasing 50-50 tickets in support of the Steve King Foundation. And we have the winning number now for $4,850.
I'm going to take the mic for just a second. I want to thank everyone for participating in the 50-50. What you did is you helped racing families heal. The dollars that the Steve King Foundation received tonight will go to injured drivers, crew members, and track officials when they need your help. So thank you for your help. This marks the 20th anniversary of the Steve King Foundation. Thank you.
And now for the winning number. It is D as in dog, 32676. D32676. You've won $4,850 here tonight, courtesy of the Steve King Foundation. And underneath the grandstand is where you can find the booth and you can claim your prize here tonight. Thanks again to everybody who purchased a 50-50 ticket here tonight. Thanks to the Steve King Foundation for all they do for sprint car racing. It's just an absolutely special organization. Yep. Thank you, everybody. And Tony, Brian, that leaves just one race on the docket. I could not be more excited to see what we get from this main event.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Austin. It's been a great night so far. Great preliminary action, Brian, as we've seen some great heat races here tonight. We've seen a couple great B mains and a great IMCA feature. The racetrack's in a really nice shape here tonight for our feature event here, brought to you by McKay Group.
It really is, as the drivers already staged out around the Speedway. 30 laps. The distance in tonight's feature event. It is the one-night stand for 21 grand. Looking to the lineup, and it's set to go to the green like this. Starting at the 24th position, He comes in out of Knoxville, Iowa, driving the quality striping as Schilling Excavating, DDI Fabrication number 22. It'll be Riley Goodnow. Lining up to his inside, the 2MD, the driver out of Adrian, Michigan. Driving the Michigan's STP Motorsports, Ackland Insurance, Mark Daly Racing number 2. That is Darren Nida.
Your 22nd starter hails from Fairland, Indiana, the Dave.com Inland Rigging and Tree. That's the 31X of Cale Thomas. And starting in the 21st spot, from Ankeny, Iowa, the IntelliSense C&D Elevator Higherview Enterprises, car number 4M of Cam Martin.
20th starter is going to be Carson McCarl of Altoona, Iowa, the Jetco Blondie Motorsports. Last time exteriors, DeBurr Concrete number 27, and lining up to his inside out of Odessa, Missouri, driving the Design Source Flooring at Motorhaven, Shanae Lawson Chassis, number 74, Xavier Doney.
Your 18th starter hails from McLaren Vale, South Australia, the Mappy Incorporated Purple Wave Auction, car number 1X is Scott Boguski, and starting in the 17th spot from Quilcene, Washington, the Rengen Earthworks, Apex Graphics, Windsor Construction, STC Moyle, car number 63 of J.J. Hickle.
8th row to the outside out of Rising Sun, Maryland, driving the Indy Performance Composites, Ronda Supply Maxim, TJ Ford's number 51. It'll be Stephen Snyder Jr. lining up to his inside out of Gympie, Queensland, Australia, driving the Corbett Group, Bybee Electric, Mel Hamilton Racing, Ike's Performance, number 25, Jai Corbett.
Outside of the 7th row finds the car number 45D from Marion, Arkansas, the Camden Signage Maxwell Racing Engines QSI entry of the guy, Derek Hagar. And your 13th starters from Pleasantville, Iowa, the ID Concrete Pro Diesel STC KCI Dibbledoe, car number 1TZ of Tasker Phillips.
Going from 12th tonight, driving the NOS Energy Drink, West Tennessee Expediting, at Tag Truck Center, ZMAX number 17, out of Lebanon, Indiana, is going to be Spencer Baston. And lining up to his inside, repairs made from 11th, your 5-time and defending champion, driving the All Ball, your alternative, Finley Farms, Vulcan Brothers Racing, JVI Group FloRacing, HendrickCars.com, number 57, and of Elk Grove, California, Kyle Larson.
We enter the top 10 now, starting in the 10th spot. From Tulsa, Oklahoma, the J.B. Henderson Construction, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Smith Titanium, Rainbow Nut Butter, Bob Hurley RV. Car number 45X, it's Reese Moran. And starting in the 9th spot, from Enumclaw, Washington, the Curb Records, Canes Creek, Print Napa, Liuna, Ballard, Scott Boyd family. Car number 4 of Casey Kane.
Right of row number 4 out of Altoona, Iowa, the Country Builders Construction, Tucker family, Oakville family, or Tucker Trucking, Oakville family, number 88. It is the big unit, Austin McCarl. And lining up to his inside, the 24T out of Sanborn, Minnesota, the Tram Farms, Joel Pinion Trucking, Creek Area Ag Services, number 24T of Christopher Trong.
Starting in the 6th spot from Clovis, California, the Four Seas Construction, Sander Engineering, Sencal, Autry Plumbing, All-Star Performance, Tally Oil. Car number 14, it's Corey Day. And starting on the inside of the 3rd row, from Alice Springs, Northern Territory, the Tarleton & Son Executive Auto Sales, American Rock and Rent, Bandy & Associates, Nurse Family. Car number 21T of James McFadden.
Lining up 4th at Northport, Florida, driving the Global League Moxie Creative Products Group, number 24D. It's Florida Man. It's Danny Sams III. And lining up in 3rd, he is out of Kokomo, Indiana. Driving the Indy Race Parts, number 71, it is the law firm, Parker Price Miller.
Outside of row number 1, from Lemoore, California, the All Ball, your alternative, Mesilla Valley Transportation, Tarleton, the Sunsage family, Scott Boyd family, Complete Parts and Equipment. Car number 41, it's Carson Macedo. And on the pole from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, in the All Ball, your alternative, CP Excavating, Raw Machinery, Joel Pigeon Trucking, Hampa Oil. Car number 10, it's Ryan Timms.
Your lineup for the 31st running of the McKay Group Front Row Challenge, presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport. Even the bunnies are excited for this one.
Looking for an armband there. I don't see one, Brian.
Nope. Cars fire. They will begin to make their way around. It's almost time to go to war.
So the cars will be getting into the 4-wide formation here as we get ready to send them off. Ryan Timms and Carson Macedo, they are on the front row getting ready to go. The Pella Motors and Craig Ford pace truck leading the field around. As they get the signal to get into the 4-wide salute. Next time by will be your parade lap. Have to work. All right, the field lining up, getting into a 4-wide salute. Next time around, race fans, we'd like you on your feet, getting ready to send them off. The 31st annual McKay Group Front Row Challenge presented by Country Builders Construction and DK Transport getting ready to go to the green. 30 laps the distance, $21,000 to the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, your 4-wide salute coming off of turn number 4. It's showtime here at Oskaloosa. Forming back up in rows of 2. Ryan Timms and Carson Macedo, then Parker Price Miller and Danny Sams. James McFadden, Corey Day, Christopher Traum and Austin McCarl, Casey Kane and Reese Moran. Kyle Larson and Spencer Baston, Tasker Phillips and Derek Hagar, Jai Corbett and Steven Snyder Jr., J.J. Hickle and Scott Boguski getting ready to bring the field to green. Behind them is Xavier Doney, Carson McCarl, Cam Martin, Cale Thomas, Darren Nida, and Riley Goodnow. Brian, it's all up to these boys now. There's nothing left to talk about. All the money's on the line.
The talk is done. The time for action has come. For the 31st time here at Southern Iowa Speedway, we are set to go to green. It is the McKay Group Front Row Challenge presented by Country Builders Construction and DKW Transport. Field making their way into turns 3 and 4. This one's for the beer drinkers, the Hellraisers, and the race fans of all. It's the Front Row Challenge, and we're underway.
Ryan Timms jumps out early. He gets away there as Carson Macedo in that second spot, beginning to close in on Ryan Timms as they race into 3 and 4. Timms through the middle of turn number 4. Macedo up on the cushion as they race down the first straightaway. Lap number 1 goes to Ryan Timms.
Remember, Ryan Timms, that team had to bow out of competition last night during the Capitani Classic when the engine dropped a valve. They've got to run on all 8 cylinders. Oh, look out. The 24 sideways exit turn number 2. That opens the door for Parker Price Miller. 71 can move up into the 3rd spot, and along for the ride is the Sander Engineering 4 Seas Construction number 14 of Corey Day. Day down to the inside of the 71. He's got the pass. That's going to move him up into the 3rd spot as they work on to the back straightaway. Sam's back to 5th, and now another driver moving is going to be the 88 of Austin McCarl, working by the 21T of James McFadden, the 17 of Spencer Basin along with that battle as well. But don't look too far back. You're going to find the 57 starting to make some moves here. Remember, Larson last year had to make quite a charge as well.
Right now finds himself in the 9th spot. There's a look at Austin McCarl and James McFadden. That's the battle for the 6th position. Austin McCarl has it. Here comes McFadden back to the inside. J-Mac pulls up alongside of Austin McCarl. He'll slide across the middle of the racetrack to take the spot back from Austin McCarl. Put James McFadden in 6th. Here comes Kyle Larson. Larson closing in. Austin McCarl to the top. Larson gets 1, looking for 2 as they race off of 4. Here comes Kyle Larson, but Austin McCarl gets right back in the middle of him.
Boy, Larson, he was cutting the grass there through turns 3 and 4. Left side tires all the way down into the turf. Takes it wide into 1, brings it down across the racetrack. Finds some moisture at the exit. Able to work by the Country Builders number 88 here again. Going low, not as low that time. Throws a slide on the 21. They come around to the front straightaway. Larson with the advantage, and he's going to jump up 2 spots up into the 6th position. Challenge coming back from the Tarleton & Sons entries. Can't hold on to it. Looking at your leader real quick, and the 10 of Ryan Timms. Looking up and checking on him for a moment. Into traffic here. 1.065 seconds is the advantage between him and Carson Macedo right now.
Ryan Timms to the inside of Jai Corbett, the lap cars. They race off of turn number 4. Carson Macedo still in that 2nd spot, just over a second back now as they race into turn number 2. Tim's able to get by the 25 of Corbett. Kyle Larson closing in on Danny Sams. That'll be mid race 4 position. Sam's in the 5th spot. Kyle Larson gets it now. Kyle Larson as we go double box on flow. Kyle Larson gets by Danny Sams. Your leader, Ryan Timms, in heavy traffic. Carson Macedo trying to close back in. He'll do so. He cuts the gap now as they work down the back chute.
Down to within about 3 car lengths here. As they work by the one Taz into turn number 3, Macedo had to roll out of the throttle. Macedo Valley Transportation, Saints family number 41, going to have a little bit of time, but back to Ryan Timms. Still a half a second between them, so traffic costing him greatly here. Going to work on the 74 Doney in the back straightaway, trying to clear right now. Doney not going to make it easy on him. Goes to the high side. Timms down to the inside, throws the slide. Now going to hold up the 41. So that little bit of time Macedo made up right there, taken away against slower traffic. Give it, then it take it, as that's going to allow the 14 of Corey Day into that mix. Battle for the second spot. It's going to be Macedo on the outside holding on to it.
Macedo able to hold off Corey Day as Kyle Larson has made his way up into the 4th spot now. Macedo getting by the lap car of Doney as they race into turn number 4. Your leader, Ryan Timms, caught up behind lap traffic again as they race into 1. Macedo gets a lap car. Oh, no! Tire to the wall, upside down. Carson Macedo flipping into turn number 2.
Over the right rear of Doney. And Macedo with a horribly torn up number 41. Good news, we can see him moving around inside of the car as safety crews quickly making their way up to 10 to the driver of the number 41. He will come out and, man, the door slamming shut in traffic as he tried to go to the outside. Get a replay coming up here on the FloRacing broadcast. Trying to go to the outside of the 74, Doney up the racetrack, and the 41 just with a full head of steam. And no way of knowing that the 41 was closing that fast.
Here's a look from the drone. You see Doney sliding up the racetrack, and Carson had a big run as he came around the top side of the racetrack and just nowhere for him to go. He catches something there, and you see, I'm not sure if it's the hide off the right rear tire comes flying over the fence there, but boy, Carson Macedo took a pretty hard bounce. There goes that tire up over the fence. You see the impact on the nose, and then he flips it right back on over and hangs it up on the fence there. But, boy, not a lot you could do there. He had such a big run, Brian, coming around the top, and Doney was just sliding up the racetrack, and that's where they met. There you see Carson Macedo standing there on the racetrack with his helmet in his hand. Hate to see that. Good news is he's out of the car, so that's the best news.
So right now he's going to go ahead and get into the golf cart, and we'll pass up on a chance to talk here at the broadcast, and certainly can't say that I blame him right now. Just I can't imagine the level of frustration and the run that he had going and the speed he had in that car.
You know, Brian, you could really see how violent it is for the driver in the car. When he was flipping, you could see his head and everything motioning forward as he hits the ground and bounces back up in the air. And that takes a lot out of a driver there when they take a hard ride like that. So just glad he was able to get out.
And you talk about that motion inside the car. Imagine what that would be without the head and neck restraints we have today. Talk about some of the violence. You can see where it just ripped the top of the wing apart, where everything was making contact, and just an absolutely tough way to end the night.
Yes, please. There's a look at that wing that's come apart there. Boy, you're going to get one more look at it here. Just watching the cockpit there, once he gets over the tire, you can see how violent that is for him. You see his head bouncing around there pretty hard, and oh, boy.
Man.
Hurts my neck just watching.
You know, Doney, he got into the middle, and when he did, he missed that line to try to get the car back down the racetrack, and it just shot him up the racetrack. And unfortunately, going faster sideways than forward, and Macedo was there, unfortunately, to catch the right side tires.
You know, and we always talk about how unforgiving the cushion can be once you get over it. But take a look right there is a good shot. That cushion's about a car width wide, so there's not a lot of room for air if you do get up over the cushion.
No, perfectly said. I mean, you're a razor's edge at 130 miles an hour. So crews having to go to work, and a lot of damage on that car, so they're really having to be careful on how they hook up to it in order to get it cleared. Because last thing you want to do is, yes, we know the car's broken, but we don't want to damage it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll get it up on the hook, and Phil Dietz and crew will go to work to get that car to a point where it can roll back in the trailer. And
seen them kind of pop in and out of frame there. They're coming up and getting a look at us. So unfortunately, the Rengen Earthworks work area will not be the destination for that car. That one is headed to the trailer.
Great to have MedStar on hand again here tonight, Brian. The safety crew working on the racetrack. So once we go back under caution and realign the cars, Ryan Timms will line up as the race leader. Corey Day should be lining up second. Third will be Kyle Larson. Fourth, Parker Price Miller. James McFadden now into the top 5. Danny Sams, Austin McCarl, Spencer Baston, Steven Snyder Jr., and Casey Kane will line up in the 10th spot.
So
12. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead. Providing these drivers a little bit of chance to kind of regroup and kind of assess where they're at, but also gives a chance for tires to cool off and things to kind of settle. And that in itself can also move a lot of pieces on the board here when we get ready to go back to green.
As you see Xavier Doney's car there, I was just thinking to myself, wonder how the right rear tire is on his car. Sometimes when you see that kind of impact, usually you would see the other car with a right rear tire down as well, but it didn't appear as they went by there that his car was down on the right rear at all.
At speed, and I'm glad they slowed it down on the replay, because at first I thought it had ripped the Nerf iron off of the right side of the 74, and then, once they played it back, realizing, no, it's the shredded remains of the right
tire.
rear from the number 41. Getting a look down at the 14 machine of Corey Day. He's going to occupy the second position now. Corey, 6-time winner on the season, 4 of those in Interstate Battery High Limit competition. Of course, won internationally at Perth down in the month of January. Las Vegas Motor Speedway Dirt Track, Eagle Raceway, Eldora back in July, Lernerville on July 22nd. Second here last year, matching his finish from 2024. He was third in 2023, so he's got a little silver, he's got some bronze, trying to trade it in for some gold here.
Don't forget he was the 23 NARC champion.
20th start of the season on dirt, 6 wins, 9 top 5s, 15 top 10s.
Here's a look at that right rear tire as we were just speculating about a moment ago, Brian. Looks to me like it's all good.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any damage. And even looking at the wing, it looks like everything's good, Nerf iron, everything.
The wing, anything, which is really surprising because that was a pretty hard impact.
Yeah.
When they did get together.
Of course, Day, competitor with the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. 22 starts, 2 wins, 16 top 5s, 15 top 10s. Currently 5th in standings of that series. Not having the weekend he wanted at Iowa Speedway, though. Mechanical problems for him. So we'll work on getting the field refired. The 10 of Ryan Timms, of course, your race leader. Picking up a couple of snazzy trophies lately. Of course, the 360 Knoxville Nationals champion.
And we mentioned earlier he's in a really tight battle with Austin McCarl for the Lighton State Bank 410 points championship. Last night they also got points toward the season championship last night, and we kind of speculated. I haven't looked today.
It was 200 minimum, max of 360. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that's right.
And Austin had a phenomenal night last night.
They figure he maybe gained around 80 points somewhere in there on Ryan Timms. And, we talked about how probably a good thing they chose to come back from the Kings Royal weekend and run that weekend back at home instead of staying out there and missing it.
I was about to bring that up, and you guys brought that up in the post-race show. And, I mean, just little decisions like that have such dire implications, especially in a championship run like that. So we'll see what the all-ball-year alternative, Joe Pinion Trucking Hample Oil number 10, can do on the restart. 12 wins overall in the season, 8 of those coming at the Knoxville Raceway. Of course, 3 times at Houston. It's also a win at the Jackson Motorplex. Remember last year, he started 16th and came up to 5th here.
Yeah.
So definitely knows how to get around the Southern Iowa Speedway. 51st A-feature appearance of the season. Those dozen wins include 26 top 5s and 34 top 10 finishes. Of course, looking to defend his Knoxville Nationals title this week.
So So once again, once we get everybody fired back off, Ryan Timms will be the race leader. Corey Day will line up second, Kyle Larson third, Parker Price Miller fourth, James McFadden fifth, Danny Sams the third is sixth, Austin McCarl seventh, Spencer Baston eighth, Steven Snyder ninth, Casey Kane 10th, Cale Thomas 11th, Christopher Traum, Cameron Martin, Reese Moran, and J.J. Hickle into the top 15 now. Derek Hagar behind him. Xavier Doney, Jai Corbett, Tasker Phillips, Darren Nida, Riley Goodnow, and Carson McCarl.
So track is clear. They'll let the field kind of jackrabbit around here. They'll find the Craigport pace truck here in just a moment. Start getting things lined up and ready to go back to green. By the way, Larson in third. Winner of this event last year, 2024, 22, 21, and 2018. Capitani Classic win last night. 8 overall wins on the dirt this season. 22 starts of the NASCAR Cup Series this season. Goes along with 8 top 5s and 11 top 10s. Currently 8th in NASCAR standings. So if you missed earlier, broken rear axle on the number 57. That relegated him to a deep starting spot tonight. Trying to make his way up through the field.
Lights are out.
Larson from 11th. But Timms right now has proven to be the man to beat. He has led it all so far. Still shy of the midpoint, 12 in, 30 the distance. See if the Oklahoma City racer can hold on to grab a win here. Ed Oski picks up the pace into turn number 4. They'll bring it around to the front straightaway. We're back underway.
Kyle Larson tried to make a move there as they came off of turn number 4. Ryan Timms leading down the back chute. Now Larson closing in on Corey Day. He'll look to the inside for second. Corey Day not able to hold him back. Larson locked in on the entry to turn number 3. Slides through the cushion in 4. He'll take the second spot. Corey Day stays with him in third. Corey Day back to the top of the racetrack trying to close in. Parker Price Miller and Danny Sams battling now for the 4th spot.
Sams with a good run to the outside. Gets right back up next to the 71. Close quarters out there. We're going to tap tires in the back straightaway for a second. Andy Race Parts number 71. Wing down through turns 3 and 4. Brings it across to the cushion. He'll have the advantage. Takes over the 4th spot. Danny Sams back to 5th. McFadden running at 6th. Basin up to 7th. McCarl 8th that time. Steven Snyder and Cale Thomas right now running at your top 10.
Spencer Baston now the inside of Austin McCarl. Oh, car upside down. Red flag.
And it is one of our Dave.com number 31 machines. Cale Thomas, who had been running in 10th. So crews on scene going to work right now, waiting for update from trackside. So driver coming out of the car, good news, he is okay after getting upside down. So we'll get a replay here on the FloRacing broadcast from the drone. Gets up man. Boy, he hooked that cushion and that car just turned and burned.
He was higher than the fence.
Wow. Getting a look at it here, they're going to slow it down just a little bit.
This is in turn number 2.
And I have to wonder the way it turned the car. I thought for a second at speed, I thought maybe it had broke something on the car, but you can see him trying to correct it, kind of drove it up and then brought it back down. And man, once it dug in, he was just absolutely along for the ride. So getting a look at Cale there, looking at the carnage on that Dave.com Bauman Motorsports number 31 machine.
2 previous starts here at Oskaloosa. His best finish was 9th here last year. 3 wins this season. 92-time career feature winner.
Boy, and he'd been moving in this thing. Remember, he started deep back in the 20s.
Well, look at the front end of that car, Brian. Twisted, mangled.
From 22nd, he was up into the top 10. First appearance here back in 2021. So again, thankfully, we've seen a couple instances where it makes you appreciate the safety changes and the advancements that they have made in these cars, especially in about the last half dozen years.
Well, just the amount of times tonight we've seen the tethers go to work. That's been a big deal, a big improvement. And, boy, look at the front, just the amount of front-end damage alone done on that car right there. It's unbelievable. But he got pretty high, as we saw there. Once he got up into the air, that car continued to climb height, and he took a pretty hard bounce a couple of times.
When this show was ASCS several years ago, was it Ledger?
Cody Ledger, yeah.
Cleared the fence in turn 2, and that was one of the more terrifying rides we've ever seen here in wing competition.
To our viewers watching on FloRacing 24/7, thanks for tuning in. For more racing action, stream FloRacing app anytime on the Flo Sports app. There's the QR code you can see on your screen. You can unlock your all-access pass by going to FloRacing.com or scanning that QR code. And again, just a reminder for those of you tonight, when you're leaving the grandstands here, the South Gate and Green Street gates will be opened after the races tonight, so you can kind of mitigate the traffic and go out a couple different directions here, but use the South Gate and the Green Street gate to exit the Southern Iowa Fairgrounds.
So I talked about it earlier. Your subscription to FloRacing is also a full access pass to Flo Sports. So it's more than just racing. It is just about any sport you can imagine. You know what else is on there right now? Grappling.
Come again?
Grappling.
Grappling.
So that's also being shown.
Wow.
Let's see. Tomorrow you've got FloRacing. You got the KKM Challenge Series at Hamlin Speedway. You've got, let's see, Sunriser Leeds versus Manchester. We've got Flo Hockey, Flo College, of course, Marshalltown. So, yeah, it is way more than just racing. Hockey, wrestling, grappling, cycling, track and field, cheer and dance, varsity TV, elite fitness, marching band, baseball, basketball, cricket, field hockey, football, gymnastics, lacrosse, rugby.
I'm a big drag race fan, and there's all kinds of drag racing content on here as well. Of course, August 27th through the 29th, the PDRA Drag Wars will be coming up. Tons of drag racing stuff to watch on the FloRacing app as well.
They got bull riding, so I know Rizzy's watching. So he's got to be thrilled. He's got a place to check out bull riding.
Have you ever ridden a bull?
No. I've ridden a camel.
In a zoo?
State fair.
There's motocross racing coming up. All kinds of good stuff.
Talking about some of the USAC events coming up. Smackdown at Kokomo.
Yep. Great event.
That is an awesome event coming up. 3 nights of racing, and that's also a huge fundraiser for charity. They do a lot of work on that. They've got raffles going on. They've got the kickoff party. There is all kinds of great stuff going on surrounding that. And the proceeds from that going to Riley Children's. And there's more information. I know Kokomo's posted stuff out on their Facebook page. That's definitely something you want to check out.
That's a hospital for children.
Yes. So that is a great and worthy cause. And that is all wrapped up inside of SmackDown at Kokomo.
Well, Ryan Timms is getting ready to line up again. He had a 1.159 second advantage over Kyle Larson, who will line up in the second spot here as we get ready to go back to green. Corey Day will line up third. Parker Price Miller, Danny Sams, James McFadden, Spencer Basin, Austin McCarl, Steven Snyder Jr., and Cale Thomas was in the 10th spot. That'll move Cameron Martin up into the top 10 now here on the restart. Still not quite to the halfway mark, just about one lap shy. We're at lap 14 of 30. So we are getting close to the halfway marker here in this one.
And we got 360s in Marshalltown.
Yep.
The Queens contest for Knoxville.
Yep.
Tomorrow as well, I believe.
That's right. And the NOS kickoff party will happen as well on the fairgrounds at the Knoxville Raceway.
So
Lots going on.
There is no shortage of things to check out.
Right. All right, Ryan Timms buzzing the tires, getting ready to go back to the green flag.
Single file again, the cone on the front straightaway. Timms going to set the pace here to the McKay Group start zone. Picks it up as they work at a turn number 4. Larson going to swing low. He'll get back in line to the cone. He's going to go for the fence this time over in turns 1 and 2. Timms protected the bottom. Larson, look at the drive to the back straightaway. He is hunting. He's clawing. He's running. He's looking for the race lead. Timms, he's got company. Looking to the inside. Here comes Larson for the top spot. Ryan Timms going to hold him off in 10.
Timms able to hang on to it as they race into turn number 1. Larson there in second. Now he'll lose some ground to Ryan Timms. Timms getting the engine revved up there. Here comes Danny Sams. He'll get around the outside of Parker Price Miller as they battle for the 4th spot. Parker Price Miller, then James McFadden battling with Spencer Basin. Basin in the 6th spot falls back one to James McFadden. McFadden out of the inside of Parker Price Miller. That's the race for 5th.
See a couple of drivers go down and duck the left side tires onto the turf a little bit. There are tires buried down there, but they are straight up and down. If the drivers do it just right, they're able to actually use those tires to kind of jettison around the turn and get the car really loaded up. And we've seen Larson do it. We just saw Parker Price do it there. So making their way on as we go back to the number 10 of Ryan Timms. Just under a half second last time of the start-finish line is his advantage. Just past the midpoint now as they come around to click off lap number 16. Larson still in second, trying to close.
Oh, my. Price Miller, left rear tire down on the Indy Race Parts car number 71. That'll bring out the caution. The Rengen Earthworks yellow flag coming out onto the racetrack for Parker Price Miller.
And that'll take him into the Rengen Earthworks work area as well.
Parker was running in the 5th spot, Brian, as they come to this caution. Tough break for him.
Boy, and he had a really good run. Him and Danny Sams, they had a really good back and forth going on there. And that exit at turn number 2, when you get the top lined up just right, and we've seen Danny do it a couple times, just absolutely rockets you down the back straightaway.
Yeah, for sure. Saw Kyle use the cushion to his advantage there when he on that start to really close in on Timms. Kind of the same deal. He went up, let it skate up to the cushion, and then turned the car really hard and made a huge run down the back chute to close in on Ryan Timms.
Can't really say he ran it down the embankment because this track, it's got some, but it's minimal at best. So Larson's up there. He's got that right rear, and he's rolling that high side. Also trying to make sure and keep his tires cooled here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's keeping those tires cool. We've had a few now. Get them hot, cool them down. Get them hot, cool them down. And so you got to protect that tire a little bit.
What's the track right now is in just absolutely phenomenal condition.
Yeah.
So they'll work on getting the 71 on the hook. So a failed Hoosier on the left rear, and you can see holes just absolutely torn into that thing.
That as well. Get that zoomed in there. There you can see it pretty good there. Pretty big hole in that tire, actually.
So Tim's leading, Larson in second, Day in third, Danny Sams in fourth, Baston now going to move up into fifth, McFadden in sixth, Austin McCarl in seventh, Steven Snyder Jr. in eighth, Cam Martin in ninth, and Casey Kane in 10th. So far, Cam Martin in the running for Hard Charger. Started 21st. He's advanced 11 positions.
We're going to have to pick our True Value Nailed It move of the night here pretty soon, too.
They're not making it easy. The Durst Incorporated Hard Charger, $1,000 cash and a KSC power steering pump.
So Parker Price Miller has arrived in the engine work area. Crew going to work to get that left rear tire off, but looks like we're just about set to go. Ryan Timms will bring the field back to the cone here on the front straightaway. We're back to green. Larson taking a look. They get by the cone. He'll set him up. Tricks him. Looks to the inside now. They're racing for the lead in turn number 2. Ryan Timms, Brian, is so good on the exit of turn number 2 up on the cushion.
Boy, and last time he protected the bottom, Larson went to the top. This time they swapped positions on the restart. Timms, that car just absolutely weighed down and glued at the exit of turn number 4. Able to put distance quickly between himself and the 57 of Kyle Larson as they are end-to-end on the frame right now here on the broadcast. It was just shy of 0.7 of a second last time around, coming around with 10 laps remaining. Timms in command in 10.
Larson in second. Corey Day in the third spot. Here comes Spencer Baston now, looking to the outside for position as well. Back in the pack. They're moving around back there in the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot.
Cam Martin continuing to march his way forward in the 4, looking back a little bit here and going to work on Danny Sams as they make their way around to the front straightaway. Boy, Cam, talk about a drive here tonight. As I said, he has started deep in this one and making his way up through the field. Basin also going to get the advance of the 24 of Danny Sams. Sams, boy, that car dancing around.
Dance up on the cushion right there. He banged it pretty hard.
Slap of the cushion like a note of money that time over turns 1 and 2, and we saw a few drivers do that, and it cost him. Luckily, he was able to get it wound up enough. It didn't reach out and grab him as we are working lap number 23. Timms nearly a second to the advantage, 0.918 last time by. How fitting as he makes his way around, now 0.804. Larson, this is where we see him really start to move around and start to do some things like we see at the Tulsa Shootout. Problems for one driver, slow down to the bottom side of the racetrack.
That's Tasker Phillips off the pace there in the 1TZ. We stay green for the moment. Here comes Baston to the outside of Cam Martin back in the field. But as you mentioned, Kyle Larson can think about 6 laps to go and not really worry about it because we see him do this often. He's so patient. He finds out where he wants to be. And now look at him start to close in lap after lap. He had 0.6 seconds. The margin, now it's down to 0.422 between first and second.
Exit at turn number 2. He's actually going up. He's using the wall.
He is. I saw it right there. He kind of bounced it up off the guardrail. Look at the run. Big move there. Contact. Turn number 4. The nose wing bashed up on Ryan Timms' car now as they race into turn number 1. Kyle Larson takes the lead.
Boy, Larson didn't quite clear on the slide, and somehow Ryan Timms doesn't go for a ride at the exit of turn number 4 as the 57 able to hold on and lead the way. Coming around, it'll be 3 to go this time for the HendrickCars.com number 57. Timms, that damaged nose wing, that is going to take all the air and the grip off of the front of that car. Now that might open the door for Corey Day to come up and get one more spot here in the closing laps. He trails, though, by 2 seconds to Ryan Timms. 2 to go this time, Tony.
2 to go. Kyle Larson out front. Ryan Timms hanging on to the 2nd spot. You see the green flag in the air. That means 2 to go. Your leader in lap traffic, Danny Sams, the next car. He'll encounter down the back straightaway. They'll see the white flag this time by as they race into 3 and 4 right through the middle of the lap cars.
Brent threads the needle as he makes his way up to the cushion of the exit. Turn number 4, Larson on his way. He has won this race 5 times. He won it in 2024. He won it in 2025. He is trying to get the hat trick here as he makes his way into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Checker flag is going to fly. The 3rd year in a row, the 6th time in his career. Kyle Larson is the champion of the Front Row Challenge. Corey Day at the line does run down Ryan Timms. He takes 2nd. Timms in 3rd. Austin McCarl, James McFadden in 5th. Steven Snyder Jr. in 6th. Spencer Baston, Cam Martin, Casey Kane, and Christopher Tromp unofficially your top 10. A little bit of drama in Oski.
Wow. Kyle Larson getting the win after a really bold move to get by Ryan Timms. They made contact, knocked the nose wing out of the 10 car.
Man.
But he goes on to victory lane in the all-by-your alternative car number 57. As you see the unofficial results scrolling on your screen. Kyle Larson makes his way down into victory lane here on the front straightaway.
Now, I mentioned in situations like that, you start seeing stuff like you saw at the Tulsa shootout, and right on cue, he's on the wall.
Yeah. So Kyle Larson will make his way down into victory lane. Everybody getting into position. You see that big wreath there for the champion. Look at here, Shane Liebig taking a visit here with Kyle Larson. Not very happy. The car owner of Ryan Timms.
Voicing his displeasure. Ava Payton, our trophy queen here tonight with the big check in hand. And Larson working on making his way out of that HendrickCars.com Findlay Farms Durst number 57. As he will get the belt once again and make his way up to the top of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner is Kyle Larson. The cheers and jeers.
And a lot of jeers tonight, I think.
Yeah, what a race we had down here, fellas. Kyle Larson again in victory lane. Kyle, on those restarts, man, you just kept working on him and kept working on him. Weren't able to get him on the restarts, but as the race went on, we've got, he wants the belt. He wants the belt, too. On the restarts, you weren't able to get him, but you just kept working on him and kept working on him. In the closing stages, you were finally able to make your move. How'd you take advantage of your opportunity?
Yeah, he was getting nervous in 1 and 2 and started making mistakes and allowing me to build runs, and it was just strung out, so you got to get going. So I'm sure that wasn't the cleanest move. I'm sure if anybody's followed his career, we've seen him make a lot of mistakes as well. So his car owner's upset at me, which is fine, but at least get my race right. I'm not Chinese, I'm Japanese.
I tell you, you know, that's sometimes what you get right in big-time auto racing. You've won this race a number of times now, a number of times in a row now. How special is it to be able to have NASCAR here, be able to come to this race that Terry McCarl puts on, and put on a big show in front of an absolutely packed grandstand here?
Yeah, no, the McCarls have been doing this forever, and it's such a fun event, as I'm sure that's why these stands are packed every year. Stands, infield, all of it. The foot race, it's all fun. So glad to always come back here, and thanks to Paul Silva and Trevor, Doug, everybody who helped back in the pits from all different teams to help get our car repaired after the heat race. So I had a lot of fun there in the feature. Car was extremely good, and yeah, I took advantage of a moment that I felt like I had to.
I tell you, every time you get connected with Paul Silva, you run this 57 car, there's just so much excitement. It's got to be so much fun for you to pilot his car.
Yeah, definitely. I don't get to race all the time, but whatever we do, we're competitive. So yeah, it always makes it fun for me, and just a cool race. We got rolling there early. Felt like if the red for Carson had come out, we would have taken the lead way earlier. So just a great car, but the yellows are kind of making it difficult, because we needed traffic. The pace was just really fast up top, but yeah, fun race. The track was awesome too. I think that was probably one of the best Oski tracks we've ever gotten.
Give him a hand one more time, race fans. Tonight's Front Row Challenge winner, it's Kyle Larson.
Great job, Austin. big run down there. You saw Shane Liebig not happy with Kyle Larson after the finish when Kyle made it down into victory lane, Brian. And you can understand why, right? They're racing really hard, and a lot on the line here for these big races.
And 21,000 is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, you're racing for your career. You're racing to get down the week. And let's go back down trackside.
Yeah, we're here with Ryan Timms. Ryan, that was an exciting race. From your perspective, what did you see there in the closing laps?
Yeah, I went into 3 there. I knew I was screwing up. I figured, you know, he might be gaining on me, and I just kept doing what I did every lap. And went in there. I seen him coming up. Initially, I was going to try and drive around it, and I realized he wasn't giving me any room. And I mean, I lifted, slammed on the brakes, tried to turn it, and he still just ran right over me. So. He's a piece of shit, but it is what it is. I mean, I'll remember it, and that's that.
How do you shift your focus now to the 4 biggest nights of the year just down the road?
Oh, just forget about it, move on. We got Wednesday coming up, so that's the main focus now. I mean, honestly, I'd have to watch the video, really, but I really felt like I did everything in my power there to lift, and still, I mean, the nose wing is completely trampled, so it is what it is. We were fast, so that's all I can ask for, and I gotta thank all my great team: Shane Liebig, Marty Breton, Ben Morris, Dickey, Mitch, all my great sponsors: Dennis Allball with All Ball Your Alternative, Sitgo, Hample Oil, Mystic Lubricants, Joel Pigeon Trucking, Raw Machinery, CMP Excavating, C&E Landscapes, all my safety equipment, Sharp Advantage, Dave Sharpley, Ultra Shield, Bell Helmets, K1, just everyone that's involved.
Talk to me about that partnership with Shane Liebig. Came together here the last couple of years. You guys obviously been really fast, but in a situation like this where you can see clearly that the car owner's got your back, that's got to feel good as a driver.
Yeah, absolutely. We got each other's back, and he's in my corner, ride or die. So, like I said, I can't thank him enough. He's a great person, a great mentor, great car owner, great crew chief, just all-around great guy. And yeah, I mean, I couldn't ask for a better car owner. And then I want to thank all the people at West River that allow him to come do this, all his employees, and yeah, just the whole effort.
There we go. Runner-up tonight, Ryan Timms down here in the 10 car. And we should have one more up here on the front straightaway. Looks like he is up here. Corey Day in the 14. Had kind of a front row seat to everything that happened in front of him. And we'll get down here and talk to Corey Day. Corey, in the middle stages of that race before the yellow came out, it really looked like maybe you had the car to beat. You were right there in that mix with those guys. Talk about this race car here tonight. Looked like a fast car.
Yeah, I'd say it was good early, and then as soon as the fuel came off, I just kind of didn't really have anything. I was, yeah, just out there hanging out, waiting for the checkered flag. So, yeah, we're struggling right now, to tell the truth. It's an unfortunate time to be struggling, but my guys are working hard at it, and yeah, hopefully, you know, we did some things that we should know not to do come Wednesday night, hopefully. So, yeah, just thanks to Jason, Shane, Preston's here, everyone's here this week that's on this 14, and it's really cool just to have everyone out here and spending the week with us. My owners are very busy men and don't really get to come hang out a whole lot, so it's great to have them out.
On a night where you feel like maybe you didn't have your mojo against a field like this, so much talent in the field, to still end up on the podium, you know, just perseverance from you and your team.
Yeah, I think so. It's the first time in, you know, the past couple races for me, I've actually passed cars. So, you know, the past couple races have been the first time in my career I have not passed cars. So, yeah, good to pass cars tonight, I guess. Just needed another one once again.
There we go. Corey Day on the podium here tonight. Runner-up Ryan Timms, your front row challenge. Feature winner tonight, Kyle Larson. I tell you what, Tony, Brian, what a great night at Oskaloosa. Another chapter in the storied history of this event. What a blast to be a part of. Just a great night. So many storylines here tonight, you guys.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stories, a lot of drama. We had some unfortunate times for a few drivers, Brian, but they'll be talking about this race tomorrow.
More drama than daytime television. This makes...
So we've got to give away the True Value Nailed It move of the night.
Ooh.
$500 going to go to somebody. Who do you think we should give that to here tonight?
Man, that's tough. I mean, looking through this, there were so many drivers, you know, thinking like, well, who nailed the setup and who was able to really move forward? It's such a tough call on that one. I feel like we're going to have to flip a quarter at this point just to kind of figure it out because, obviously a lot of money for your hard chargers. So, I mean, man. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. I'm just looking at where some of these guys finished here, and man, oh man, it's really tough.
The fact that Ryan held onto the car from the impact and was able to keep the car rolling.
Yeah.
But, man, what a way to end things out. The drama unfolds like sand through the hourglass. This is the Front Row Challenge.
Your final thoughts on tonight's action?
Such an incredible event. The McCarls do such a good job. The track set up absolutely phenomenally, provided everybody with a great race, and really just you couldn't ask for more an event than what we saw here tonight.
I totally agree. A great crowd. We had great racing action. Both classes, we had lots of cars here tonight, and it's been a great night. We've had a great camera crew. We had a great production crew here tonight. For Austin Lloyd, Brian Holbert alongside. My name is Tony Bachhoven. Saying
Tony,
good night from the Southern Iowa Speedway. Well, Kyle Larson is the Front Row Challenge winner.